Let's go, baby.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Ben beat me to the first words when I'm going to have to kick his ass.
What's going on?
One. But I'm back with another podcast. We are on number 47. 47, I think. Keeping it real with your boy, Luke Vaughn. And we got a very special guest, all dressed up, looking very fresh, looking very smart.
How you doing?
Young scholar in the building. My boy, Ben Doug. Benny Doug is in the building.
Dressed for the occasion.
Dressed fly. Looking like a spy, you feel me? 007 action.
James Bond.
But
not the new James
Ben,
Bond.
what's going on? Long time. Ben is a guest here before.
Over a year now.
So you guys, if you guys want to
time.
check out that podcast, go on my channel, Keeping It Real podcast. It was like a year ago, and it is titled Ben Douglas, the Keeping It Real podcast. So you guys check that out. And yeah, we are gonna have a great conversation. I'm very excited. It's been a long time coming, Ben. I got a couple of really cool guests coming. I got a guy coming in tomorrow. We're going to record a dope podcast. I got a couple guests on the way as well. And, yeah, 2022 is going to be our year, Ben. What do you feel?
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I feel a lot of manifestation going on.
A lot of manifestation. My last podcast, honestly, was a little depressing because the end of 2021 wasn't that good. And quite frankly, if we look maybe individually, we can grab 2022 by the you-know-what, but in general, it's still not the best year. You know, still got some lockdowns, still got some weird legal things. So
what, this year or last year?
Even this year, still rolling over
last
into
year,
this year.
I think last year was
still
a pretty
rolling
shit
over
year.
into this year. They're pushing things. You need a vaccine. I can't travel out of the country without these countries asking me for this, that, and the third. And
Scary.
It's interesting. So, but individually, yes, you can make it this year, and I'm excited.
In your own environment.
What's going on, buddy? What have you been up to? Anything new?
Nothing
Looking
much.
Good.
Yeah, I'm working on some things.
Got some socks.
Hey,
You have the right sock. You have any special socks on? Or you just got some gray socks, some tube socks.
Some good gray socks or thin socks so they could
Thin
pass
socks.
for dress socks.
So if it was a little bit chilly out, you wouldn't be able to do it, huh? Maybe double up, maybe.
No. I'll be fine.
Right.
I could go bare ankle in the cold. I've done it.
Damn, really, bro?
Yeah.
Damn, cold weather, ankle socks are a no-go. I got to go straight.
I think I'm trying to remember a specific occasion, but I went somewhere, maybe up at Penn State to like a formal or something, and it was pretty cold up there when we did this. But I had loafers on, no socks, ankles were out.
Ankles were out.
Ankles were they were all over the place.
Ankles are out, knocking people out.
Yeah, I did have somebody comment on
your anks.
Yeah, it was a man.
And what did he say?
Oh, he was gay.
And he said, "I want to tickle your anks."
No, he just said he was fly.
That your anks were out.
Yeah. It was very odd.
Flooded?
It was one of
were you flooded, or were you just fly?
He was a part of the group. No, it was just fly. Like when you all right, you see the look with the loafers, no socks, pants.
So you had the loafers on.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had the loafers
fair enough.
on.
All right, fair.
He's just commenting on it.
No. I do prom, bro. I had the ankles out. It was the anks out,
and it was the first time I had ever
got hit on
by a gay guy, yeah,
by a homosexual.
Yeah, but I think I handled it pretty well. I was
did you like it? Though?
I was like, no, I thought it was funny. But yeah. I didn't get uncomfortable. Honestly, I was just I just laughed because he was with our group. We were walking down the street together.
Oh, he was with you.
Yeah, he was with us. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah,
and I didn't know who he was, but he was somebody's date. One of the girls brought him as a date,
and he was looking to bring you as a date.
And it was pretty funny though. I laughed it off. I was walking with him. I literally started talking to him. I was like, yeah, I was supposed to wear red loafers. And he's like, "Oh, the red loafers would have been even more heat." And I was like, "Yeah, that was the goal," but I couldn't get him in time. It was super last minute.
That's what it is, Benny. So, what are you working on, bro? 2022. It just started. What's today's date? The 25th.
I'm working on cash flows.
Cash flows, multiple streams.
That's what I'm working on. Yeah, I'm building them.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Building an empire.
Yeah, we have a goal to reach by the fourth quarter this year.
We as in you, or as in a team you're working with?
We as in me, but also I'm working with other people and things, so for them as well, I would hope.
That's good.
Yeah, we're going in on a project. We're trying to do 3D printing. We're trying to tap into that market, just as a little side niche sort of endeavor. Right, but there's a lot. It's very versatile, and there's a lot of good things about it. We can avoid holding inventory to a certain extent. Obviously, the goal is to eventually acquire more 3D printers to make that more possible. Because in the beginning, with one 3D printer, you limit your scale, obviously. But we don't have to hold inventory. We can render 3D models, right? We're paying for a nice CAD program. We can photorealistic render 3D models, and we could put them up on Amazon shops for sale. And then we don't have to make the item until the order comes in. We give them a 2-day ship time, 3-day ship time, whatever it may be. the order comes in, takes 10 hours to print like a little knickknack for the house and print it.
And
some random mom's ordering that on Amazon Marketplace. Just
what are you trying to print, and what can the 3D printer print?
The 3D printer can do a lot. So
I don't even know what a 3D printer is.
No, I've been doing that.
Like, what is it? It's just like, and it just turns into like a plastic thing, whatever you shape it.
Yes, I've been doing a lot
of. Is that even possible?
I've been doing a lot of. Well, it like moves on. So there's different like kinds of
lasers and shit.
No, there's no lasers. Well, I mean, to a certain extent, there's lasers, but lasers aren't doing anything like that.
All right, I don't know.
There's different kinds of like structures. There's like delta designs and all these different kinds of designs to 3D printers that like make them more efficient at certain things. And there's different like setups you can have for like the actual piece that the filament will come out of, the plastic that's melted. You can have different variations of those. Some of them can stream like multiple lines of filament and pretty much do colors and stuff. But those are expensive machines.
Yeah.
Those are that's not your like run of the mill $400, $500 3D printer. Those are like thousands. And,
yeah.
But yeah, pretty much we're gonna do like little home decor things. We're looking into like doing hydro dipping and stuff as far as like to give it color and aesthetic. But like I was looking like on Etsy, dude. If you go look on Etsy, like you see like these little 3D printed just plastic white statues of Zeus that sell like hotcakes, bro, for $60 a pop.
Yeah.
Like, and after your initial investment, you're not paying very much for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a huge margin to take.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say maybe it would be hard to build the following on Etsy because it's maybe saturated with?
No, it's more of like just. Here's the thing, though. Like, we're gonna have all these generic models, so we can download models offline. So we just flood the Etsy marketplace with these models.
And are you allowed to just sell generic
Yeah,
models?
yeah, you can just find them online.
You can just make somebody's product and just
if it's out there, for you to take, there's no patent on it. It's like it's just there. It's just a model you can just download.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Which I never knew in the first place, but you can, and then you could do your own modeling, which is what like we're gonna attempt to do. We don't have the best CAD skills. I know people who have CAD skills, but I don't know if they would want to do.
What does CAD mean? I took a class.
Computer animated design. Yeah.
Computer animated design. That was the class I was in. I took CAD engineering in my junior year.
Did you?
Yeah.
With, what was his name? Mr.
Inastenzi, I think his name.
Mr. I. Yeah, Mr. I.
A couple of kids in there. The one kid that works at that kid Flip that works at Killarney's.
What kid?
You might have not been there, but there was this kid, the bartender at Killarney's, at the bar, and I'm like, yo, I know this kid. And then like Don Mag starts talking to him and like joking around with him.
Wait.
Trying to figure out who he is.
The shorter kid?
The shorter white kid with like the beard. Kind of like good looking little kid. And like I'm like, I don't know. I remember him as like a little freshman, like a little like 8th grader type of thing. And now he's like 17, 18, like serving beers and stuff. So I'm like, yo, I feel like I know this kid. And it's like, of course you do. Like you went to high school with him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just so funny. I'm like looking at this kid. All right, but go on. I'm sorry, yo.
Well, so that's a project.
No one cares about your stories. All right, sorry.
I'm sure a lot of people do. That's a project we're working on right now.
That's lit, bro. So when do you want to get that started? When are you looking to invest in your 3D printer?
ASAP.
Bro.
There's a lot that supposed to be worked out.
Are they in stock?
Yeah,
these things in stock? Because I
them.
know we got some surplus shortages.
You can find them online relatively easily.
That's good.
There's still just a lot that has to be worked out. Like I'm not 100%. This is all relatively new to me. It's just a business idea. So like,
would you have to get an LLC under your 3D printing company?
We're gonna look at the options, but that would probably be the outcome. Yeah. There's a lot that goes into it.
That's just a little process in itself and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. That's lit though, buddy. That's lit.
Yeah.
Just a little something.
That's one thing. I'm trying to expand my horizons a little bit.
Yeah.
Acquire some new skills.
Yeah. Exactly. Bring a little bit more skills to the marketplace and have a little bit more options.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's lit. And then dude, the market taking these crashes, taking some downfalls. Taking
bad
downfalls.
right now.
The crypto.
It is looking bad
Crypto
right now.
bouncing pretty low. Taking some hits. What's your analysis on this, Benno? If you have one.
I'm not a fan of crypto, so I'm not even going to talk about crypto.
Stocks, crypto, whatever it is.
I mean, honestly, ever since everything that you know about everything that happened in the summertime, right? With TD and everything.
With you?
Yeah. Dude, I haven't been paying attention enough.
Yeah.
I really just haven't.
Fair enough.
We've been hyperinflated for a long time. Like I've known that. So that's like just the obvious outcome. It was more of a question of time. Like
when it was gonna
in the circles that I educate myself within, that was like the common consensus. It was a question of when, and there's obviously people who are like crazy bulls and crazy bears, and then obviously there's people who are like view it a little bit more realistic realistically. I try to side with what seems more right based on my fundamental understanding of like economics and stuff.
Do you listen to, say, Peter Schiff?
I do like Peter Schiff in certain aspects. I think he's a bit too conservative in some ways, but
like buy gold.
he's a.
Are you?
I'm a fan of Peter Schiff. Yes.
Do you like gold? Do you like the investment of gold right now?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No, not for me.
Okay, so if I were to want to buy gold, would you be able to recommend me how to, like, what is gold ETFs? What is gold? What is the idea of buying like stocks in gold instead of buying?
So you're buying a share of like the value of gold. Those are like ETFs, indexes, stuff like that. Those prices are basically they're just directly dependent on the price of gold.
Okay.
So that's what you're investing in. So you're not actually having gold, but you're invested in the value of gold in a sense.
Okay.
And yeah, there's all different ways to do it. Yeah, you could do like ETFs and stuff. So, but
yeah, I think I might have to cop some gold ETFs and maybe some little coins, maybe some gold and silver coins, in case I need to trade some gold and silver coins in case the economy collapses and people are going to be scavenging for goods.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about that.
I can trade some freaking gold for somebody's body part. You know what I'm saying? Bro, let me have your
somebody's
heart.
Body part?
It's like, bro, let me have your heart, bro. Fucking for this gold coin. It's like, holy shit.
Why? What are you?
Boom.
But then the guy's dead. Why would he want the gold coin?
Bro, their struggle is real, bro. When
Just
the world's over.
The fiend for commodity.
Or maybe, he might be like, I'll pass this gold coin down to my daughter.
Oh, but that's sad.
It is, bro.
These guys just sacrifice his life for his gold daughter to get a coin.
Hunger Games, bro. There's probably some shit fucking.
Holy shit.
Civilization falls and crumbles. You're running around scavenging for stuff. Take some guy's foot for a silver dollar.
But why the feet though? Why are you so obsessed with taking the body parts?
Carl.
You know what I want to talk to you about?
Carl, why'd you eat his hands?
I just thought about this. You know what I want to talk about? I was doing some research yesterday into Timothy Treadwell.
Oh, I don't know who this is.
You don't know who Timothy Treadwell is?
Maybe.
The bear guy?
He got attacked by a bear?
He was like living amongst the bears in Alaska and shit.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen this.
And then apparently the audio of him like being mauled to death. It's on YouTube.
Oh no, I don't think I've
Look
seen
him up. Pull him up on the laptop or something.
Come on, no, dude. Why? It's gonna be bad hard for me to pull up a video on here and shit.
What do you mean? Oh no.
You're gonna edit it, yo. Come on, bro.
No, but just so you can see. I want you.
I'll see it later.
Right,
I understand. What is he like? Make the noises.
No, I'm not making the noise. It was horrific. It was horrific.
It was only audio?
Yes, apparently the lens cap was on the camera when they found it.
Well, dude, that's what happens when you live with fucking animals, bro. They kill each other. They kill their own kids and shit.
Well, it's a really
he's a bit of a
wild story,
honestly.
Well, he did it for years. He would
bears live with each other for years,
and he became like friends with these bears. I know the guy's nuts, but like, I trust me. I don't get me wrong. I'm not defending him. It's like a crazy story.
Dude, a male bear will fuck a female, have kids with her, and then
kill her?
eat the kids, and then the mother has to try to defend the kids against the male. That's just bear territory. That's nature.
Well, him and his girlfriend both got mauled by the bear.
Some would say as they should. Some would
but she didn't want to be there. They like found her notebook and shit. She was writing about how she was scared of the bears and like wanted to be home and was never coming back to this place and shit. He like brought her out there,
and she stayed.
It was the day they were supposed to leave that they got mauled.
And that's what they said with Into the Wild, and we don't know how true that is. They said Into the Wild, like. He tried, like, so he was, like, kind of starving and eating these seeds, and he was kind of already starving. And, like, he basically, the way the movie and the book kind of portrays it is, like, he had this realization of, like, he had this humbling realization where, like, he's not smarter or better than anyone, and he kind of lived out in the wild, and it was really difficult, and it's not realistic, and society, honestly, is not that bad. Mm-hmm. Who knows if he really had that realization?
That's
kind of how they portrayed it. And then he, like, decided to leave the wilderness and, like, trek back across. And he had to hike, like, he would go back into Alaska. And he would probably just hitchhike his way back home, or who knows where he would have been. But then the river that he crossed that was just a little creek was this, he went in the summertime now, and it was this raging, rushing river that there's no way anyone could walk by that. And he basically just turned back around and, like, camped out back and died. And he did write in his journal that he tried to leave, and he tried to go back home, and the river was too big, and then he had to go back, and then he started starving more and eating these seeds that he thought were the good potato seeds, but they were actually like the wild potato seeds that were poisonous and then caused you to starve even more. And then he hallucinated and died. But who knows if it's
That's
true
sad.
that he had that realization? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you think that might just be added for the entertainment purpose of the movie or the book or whatever example it is.
Yeah. Who knows? Or just to hype the story or just to help people believe it. Was it like that utopian, that romantic kind of like, oh, he had this realization. You know?
Sure.
It's more fun to believe in.
But the Timothy Treadwell one, from what I understand, was like
What year was this? What year was this guy?
I think it was 2004 or something like that.
04.
And no, from what I understand, he only stayed out there during like the proper during the season when they weren't in hibernation. So he lived in California. So it was the end of the season when he got like he was going home. Like they actually were going home. Like they had the plane ticket booked. The driver.
How long was he in Alaska for?
Months, I assume.
So he was living with them for months.
Yes, and then the reason they got found was because the plane, like the water plane that was supposed to pick them up.
Pilot,
yeah. He landed on the water. He went to their campsite and found the bear standing in the campsite. So he brought back the
carcasses.
No, he brought back the sheriffs or whatever the hell they were.
Oh damn!
And they killed the bear, and they cut the bear open, and they were inside the bear.
Oh my god!
And they found the camera recording and shit.
So they found the camera, and the lens cap was on, and the audio was basically capturing them getting mauled to death.
Yes,
but there's a debate that could be edited audio, and it's not true.
That's not the real audio. Like in the police report, like they talk about the camera with the audio tape and shit. Like there's a written description of the audio.
Okay, so it's there.
But it's a question of whether the audio that you can listen to
online
is the real audio. Yeah.
Okay.
It matches the description, but it could be faked. Like who knows?
Yeah. It's a woman and a man. It could just be
some bear sounds,
like a Bigfoot type of thing.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. But like she stayed, like he was getting mauled and shit.
Well, think about. All right, sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say like he was getting mauled. Like you can hear it all in this audio, but when you read the thing, he was getting mauled, and she stayed
trying to like smack him with
the bear. She was like, you can hear her screaming at him. She's like, play dead, fight back. Like apparently, there's like a description of what they think was going on during this part of the audio and stuff. When you read the written one, it's like at this time. The bear had Timothy's head in its mouth and blah, blah, blah. And then there's one point where he like screams and like at this point we assume the bear bit into his thigh. I guess they like did some reconstruction based on that. But they found his right forearm and hand like a meter away from the camp.
Yep,
with the wristwatch still on it.
That'll be a bear.
Crazy.
That's a horrible story.
Terrible. It scares the fuck out of me. I like, dude, ever since we talked about it that one night where you're like, the bear will start with your ass.
Yeah,
I was like, that's horrifying.
Word on the street, if you get attacked by a bear, you curl up in a ball and you try to protect your neck and then curl up, and then doing that will hopefully try to protect your vital organs. And you just got to be careful that the bear doesn't eat your ass first, because animals know that animals know that to attack the genitals, specifically, I guess, males. I don't know too much about females. I don't know how that would work, but I know males, that if you bite the balls and chop the cock off, you can bleed to death very easily for basically any animal.
Yeah.
And the animal kingdom, they know that. So they will attack your balls and will try to rip that off. So the bears do try to attack your anus and probably your crotch area first. And that is that's a horrible way to go. Dude, because like you're like still conscious in that point. But like
they say some people, I was reading up about it, they're like some people go into this shock induced, like they just pass out, and that's the best way for it to go down.
There's the one guy, maybe, but there's the one, because then you can't defend yourself. Then there's the one guy that got attacked twice by a grizzly bear in Montana. It was Montana or Wyoming. He was like worked for like the National Park Service or Park Ranger or something. And he's walking on a trail. I think he had a gun, but
you're gonna tell me he fought this bear and fucked it up?
No, he didn't fuck it up, but he survived. But so this bear like comes up and like fucking basically like I think bluffs charge and like so what they do is they bluff charge sometimes and they won't even charge you, and they'll like size you up, and then they'll charge and then they'll stop, and then they'll circle you and charge and they'll stop. Even if you don't have a gun or anything, it'll just be a bluff charge. And you got to be careful for that. And sometimes, like, low-key, certain states will try
and if you run, then they'll just go at you, right?
Maybe not. But, yeah, if you run, usually you trigger that animal instinct with almost any animal. You don't really want... Even, like, a big dog will fuck you, like, chase after you and run after you and fuck you up. But, so, yeah. But and certain states, I could be wrong, but certain states, like, especially where grizzly bears are, like, especially probably Canada, I think British Columbia is really strict with killing bears. Like, you really have to prove that you were in a life or death situation with a bear for it to get away with killing a grizzly bear. So if you bluff charge, you gotta be careful in certain states. But I might just let that thing ring.
Yeah, but how would they? Like, they would expect you to just know.
They would do an examination too.
They would expect you to just know it was a bluff charge.
No, like if he charges and he's close enough, I'm assuming they'll probably give you the benefit of the doubt. But if he's far away, then they'll be like, he was mad far. Like, that's almost like a far shot. You were in a threatening situation per se. So yeah, you would have to be. Yeah,
but I feel like they're tanks, right? Like, you could just shoot. What if they're closer to me?
And that's the argument.
And
like,
I shoot.
That's
them.
the argument of like what gun to have. Like a 9mm is not a super strong caliber. Like, do you want a 45? Do you want a 10 mil?
I want a Lapua.
Yeah, but at that point, bro, that's not like a Lapua. That's just one rifle. Like, at least a 9mm, you can put off 16 shots in a relatively 25 second period.
Ripping through his heart. He's gone.
Yeah, but like maybe
like that's a big game round. Like, that's
but you missed that shot, bro. He's moving. You missed that shot, bro. You hit him right in the fucking shoulder. Boom! That Lapua goes flying off his. His shoulder's probably blown out, but he's a fucking bear that's about to kill you. So he's gonna fight through that for a little bit. His fucking Lapua bullets flying off to New Mexico.
I just wouldn't feel confident with like a 9mm.
The only thing with the argument with the smaller caliber, and this is always with even home defense as well. Like, Thomas always makes the argument, and he'll agree this is a good challenge and argument. He always says he wants a 45 just to blow him out of his socks. I like to use that term, but at that point you're risking less shots and less accuracy.
Well, I mean,
so then with that 9mm, you have less recoil, better accuracy, quicker shots. Pop, 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 pop.
I feel like I would be confident with carrying like a 5.56 rifle on me.
So low key, and like a lot of the real heads that I see that go out in grizzly country usually carry two guns. They carry a shotgun or a hunting gun, and then they carry like a handgun, like a large, some sort of like large.
That's grizzly hunting.
No, that's usually just going out in that terrain.
Like
maybe I guess just going out in that terrain and like exploring or whatever it is. A lot of outdoorsmen don't do that stuff. Like real campers and stuff, they don't like guns and stuff like that, which is really interesting. But in that country, you kind of still need a gun. Like in grizzly country, you need a handgun.
Bro, knowing the possibilities, like I would want to be safe
or something like that. Yeah,
I don't want to put my life at risk. I want to enjoy nature, but I don't want to die. That's for sure. You got to remember, when you step out into nature, like, you're part of the food chain.
And that's the argument, right? Like, you're taking that risk. Like, who are you to have that? Like, this is
because I'm part of the food chain.
This is Cam Haynes' argument. Cam Haynes doesn't go out with a gun. He never hunts with a gun. At least this is what he says. Maybe
never hunts with a gun. But he hunts.
He hunts, but when he hunts in dangerous territory, he doesn't even have a gun for safety. Most of the guys, you hunt in crazy terrain, if something goes wrong, you don't want to pull out a bow and be like, wah, wah. You want to pull out a fucking strap if this thing's about to charge you and he's mad close at you, depending what gun, or if something sneaks up on you. Like, you never know. Out there, mountain lions, grizzly bears, big black bears. Usually big black bears won't attack you.
Have you seen the video where the two black bears climb up the tree?
Yeah, bro. What's the one black bear getting chased by the
other
larger one, and he climbs up, and I don't think he has any idea that they were up there, and then he kind of realized that there might be something up there. They stayed good by staying quiet and like didn't move.
Just sitting there, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if they have the best vision. I feel like they don't have the best vision. I'm pretty sure black bears, like, if you don't move, like, the argument is like you're supposed to.
What
really,
are they, like T-Rexes?
No, isn't that the argument with T-Rexes though? Right? Oh no, the T-Rexes, right? You were supposed to, or is that just a movie? They probably have no idea. They just don't move, and T-Rexes, I can't see. You're like, what the fuck? You're like, oh.
That's funny. That's super funny.
But no, black bears, for like, if you're in a situation, usually there's two recommendations. Like, if you're in a dire situation, you low-key gotta ball up and don't move. Don't run around. Don't flail him and get him mad, and don't try to fight this motherfucker. But there is an argument, like, beforehand, you should, like, let's say a grizzly bear is kind of like looking at us, kind of walking towards us within like 100, 150 yards, 300 yards maybe. Like me and you, let's say we're riding our mountain bikes and shit. He's following us, maybe kind of like jogging along with us. We would maybe want to have to get off our bike and try to
scare him away.
Yeah, like get big, get loud, get your backpacks on, like get loud. And usually black bears, for the most part, will scurry off and usually be scared. They're usually much smaller, and they're mostly, black bears are mostly they are omnivores, but I think black bears are mostly herbivores in the most part, because they mostly can only eat
berries and shit, right?
Berries and stuff that they find, maybe some carcasses and little stuff like that. But they're not like in the East Coast. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're chasing down deer and like blicking them up the way like
a grizzly bear is.
Yeah. I don't know if they're exactly doing that.
Grizzly bears are beasts.
Yeah, grizzly bears are beasts. And yeah, they get bigger the more north you go, where they can actually eat salmon and stuff. But
that was the thing. They think that guy Timothy recorded the bear that killed him. It was a starving bear who was like trying to get one of the last salmon carcasses out of the bottom of the river. It was like a terrible year. The bears were hungry and shit. The bear migrated there.
That'll do,
for
like,
food.
because there is the argument. There's certain places where there's so much salmon. As a human, you can go there and you can get right next to the bears,
and they just don't give a shit.
And they don't give a shit because they're already full and they have food. They don't need to attack you when there's like salmon jumping into their mouth and stuff. Yeah. And you do have to be careful. My brother went on vacation with his girlfriend and her family up in Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where there's a lot of bears. Like Thomas lives in central.
Grizzly bears?
Black bears. There's no grizzly. The lower 48 states, the only places where there's grizzly bears are in Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. Maybe they're crawling around. Maybe one.
Oh, they're in Idaho?
Yes.
Really?
Maybe they're crawling around and snuck into maybe Washington. One or two snuck into Washington or Oregon, or maybe still snuck into California. But I highly doubt it. And maybe even Colorado. But again, I highly doubt it. For the most part, they're just kind of chilling in that Grand Teton, big Yellowstone area and stuff like that.
Sure.
And yeah. So my brother went in August, and a lot of basically every single, they didn't know this, every trail was closed because the black bears were giving birth at this time, and then they were walking around with their cubs.
If you accidentally walk on the trail,
and cubs are on one side, mothers on the other side, you getting fucked up.
Yeah,
you getting sent to the hospital, and that's a terrible.
It's not going to eat you, at least.
It's
just going to kill you. Probably
depends which ones you have.
I was going to say, because that's the thing. Like when it's hungry, like if it's
in that aspect, no, you're right. It's not going to eat you. It's just going to probably fuck you up and maybe kill you or bleed you out and stuff. Yeah, that's the situation.
Yeah, but that's what they think. Like the bear was starving. That's why it like ate them like the way it did.
Yeah,
and they found him in there.
Well, there was this one story of
my audio good? I'm like watching the things on it.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good, buddy. Talk again.
Check.
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
So there's the one story of these people riding their mountain bike, and the mountain lion, I think they're in California, mountain lion, maybe in New Mexico, mountain lion pulls up on them, hungry, big probably, and attacks one of them, starts freaking eating the one. The other guy's like, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, and the other person's like, well, I'm going to ride my bike and get out of here. Starts riding their bike. Mountain lion says, no, you ain't. Chases after the second person, kills and eats both of them.
Jesus
kills
Christ.
Both of them on the horror. Dude, how fucking horrible.
I watched with you the videos of like the cougars like stalking people and shit.
Yeah, there's the one recent one of the guy, like, I think it was somewhat recent, where luckily he had a gun on him, and like the mountain lion basically is like running up on him, and he's like attacking him, and he's like not attacking him, but like charging him, like bluff charging him the way a mountain lion would, like, and then like coming at him crazy, and then like stalking him, and then he just shoots him right in the face, bro. And the guy was like, I didn't want to do that. Dude, you got to. You got to, bro. You got to.
Why are mountain lions attacking? Because they're hungry too? Or they're just aggressive?
Honestly, because mountain lions are just carnivores. They probably are hungry in certain circumstances, but cats are naturally hunting carnivores. Cats, like as cute as even like a little cat like this, they are some of the best hunters in the animal kingdom for size and weight. Like they're phenomenal at catching birds and rats and mice and all this different stuff. Like it's actually really crazy that they're like these cute little kitten fur balls, and they go out and just savages.
You know what pops up on my TikTok sometimes? Those like special bred cats.
With like the chubby face, or like the
all different ones. Like some of them are like bred to look like tigers and shit, and they're just like the.
Oh, do you see those like the ocelots type of things?
Yeah, I've seen those too. The ocelots take me back to the Minecraft days.
Yeah, the Minecraft days and stuff. I don't know if it's actually an ocelot, but I know it's an ocelot on Minecraft. But I think it actually is an ocelot. Yeah. But Yes. You got to watch out for the animals. The animals
are scary.
I am scared of the going hiking and doing mountain lions. And that's one thing about the West Coast. I love like the trails in the mountains are the best out there. But when you're doing actual like running.
Are you allowed to just bring a strap out there though?
National parks, no. Depending the state, probably yes. So like New Mexico, like if you're going on a hike,
can't bring a gun in a national park, period.
No.
So if you're gonna go on a hike in a national park, you're just putting yourself at risk.
You have to bring bear spray at that point.
Bear spray.
That's why I get a little nervous going alone. That's why when I went to Shenandoah, I wasn't balling around on these crazy trails by myself.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Because some of the national parks are so big that you never know which trails have been maybe not walked on for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and now they're getting some animal traffic.
Population and shit.
Yeah.
But what's the bear spray like? Is it like a pepper spray?
Yeah, it's like a mace. I think
Does it really
started
fight the bear off? The bear doesn't care. Like what?
Well, that's kind of like a competent question in and of itself. Like, like would a bear stop attacking you from spray? There's the argument like you get good bear spray. It does shoot pretty far, pretty hard, and you're kind of supposed to maybe shoot it before it attacks you. The idea is if it attacks you when you spray it, it'll eventually like pick it up and like be like, I don't fucking want this shit, and run away. So that's kind of the whole idea of bear spray. But yeah, do I feel safe with bear spray? No, no, I don't really feel safe with bear spray. So no, it's an interesting conversation. Yeah. But so Cameron Haynes, I didn't get into Cameron Haynes. So he hunts all the time with a bow. I don't know if the people that he hunts with bring their firearm with him, but he doesn't. And he went on Joe Rogan and said like, he's out there deciding to hunt the wild in their most natural habitat, and he's going out there with them.
Like the respect for him,
and he's the respect. Like if a bear gets me, like I'm out there trying to get him.
He's playing the game, yeah.
I'm playing the game, like yeah. He's like that's what it. I'm like, bro, that is the most low key. And
that's
he
like
goes out there.
That's like playing the game on hard mode, though.
Yeah.
I play the game on easy or medium.
Medium is like they're still out there. You can get fucked up. You get a couple shots off and then kill them, but you're still fucking scraped up and shit. You got to go to get your stamina and your health refilled. Yeah, easy's not.
See,
real.
if I'm part of the food chain, hey, like if another animal's smart enough to make a tool and use it against me, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that not part of the?
Yeah,
it's part of evolution. Like it's part of us.
That's what it is, bro. Natural.
You can make tools. Why can't I use my tools? It's like what differentiated humans for the most part.
The argument is he's taking that chance to go out and get the best meat in the world. That's the argument. He has more like his.
Oh, because it's no bullets or.
No, not only that, because it has a higher quantity of protein, higher quality of protein.
Why couldn't I do that with a gun?
Oh, you could.
Yeah,
no, you could. No. And yes, of course, he's taking the ultimate challenge because he really wants to challenge himself and use a bow.
Sure.
100%. Yeah, no. Well, his one friend died. His one friend, I forget his name, but he died hunting sheep.
Sheep? What do you mean? He's hunting sheep?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, hold on.
Wait.
No. Hold on. So before you, not the sheep on a farm that look cute. Sheep are on some of the most savage mountain climbers, if not the best mountain climbers in the entire world. So those sheep, mountain sheep. So it's the hardest terrain to
goats?
find them. Goats and sheep. Are there sheep up there too?
I think it's mountain goats.
Just goats?
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. No, you're right. Luke is fucking wrong. No.
Okay, but still mountain goats?
Goats.
He hunts mountain goats?
No, you know what? Fuck that. There's sheep up there too. There's bighorn sheep up there as well.
Oh, maybe, potentially.
Yeah, no, fuck yeah. Hell yeah, Luke's right.
Are those rams?
There's rams, sheep. I'm sure they're in the sheep family. They look like rams. I think there's mountain goats, mountain sheep.
I don't know if a ram is a sheep or I don't know shit about any of this.
Bighorn sheep are definitely up there. Luke, it's bighorn rams. It's all the same shit.
I don't know.
We don't hunt.
I don't. I wish I could give a solid answer.
So basically, they're the most dangerous hunt out there because they're literally hanging on the side of a mountain just like this with like 5 legs.
Like bivvied up there and shit?
No, the sheep is just hanging
up the sheep?
So I don't know.
I've seen videos of that
I don't know if they go up and hunt it and like shoot it off and like
what does it fall down?
And shit.
But why though?
I don't know. I think it's just because it's supposed to be the most challenging. I think it's...
Oh, it's just for the sport of it?
It's the sport. It's the challenge.
I was going to say, because I don't see what the desire to kill one of those would be.
What are you just going to go out and just keep killing like white-tailed deer? I guess that at this point you're going out and getting sheep, making content out of it.
That's cool.
This boy lost his step.
Can we just say goats?
Goats.
Because the sheep thing keeps like making me feel weird.
I think he died sheep hunting. I don't think it was a goat. I'm pretty sure he died hunting a bighorn sheep that be on those mountains with.
Actually, you know what? I'm starting to think that maybe that might be more normal.
No, I'm pretty sure. And no, because I remember basically the story was he died hunting sheep, and and then he fell to his death. Basically, Camp wasn't there. But
Jesus Christ, he fell to his death
and just died. Dude, think about Angel's Landing, bro. If you would have had one hard misstep, like one real misstep, and just slip off, and you fall, and you don't fall to luckily you have like a little 20-foot cliff that's there saving you.
Speaking of picture,
I know.
Nice.
Angel's Landing.
It's really
right
pretty.
In the back.
What are you gonna do with that?
I don't know. I might just hang them up right here. I might try to sell them. I might put
What, with you in it, or just the ones of just?
I might sell the gallery. I might not the ones that I'm in.
I was gonna say.
No, just like cool photography.
No, yeah,
in the
dude,
future and stuff.
like I would hang some shit up like that in my home.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I have other photos of it just straight up. So
make that a part of the set.
Get them printed up, and I gotta
put it up here.
build up the set a little bit.
That would be dope idea.
Like the empty room.
Right? Oh, you like the empty?
Yeah, kind of.
Imagine if you filled it up with all travel pictures, just all different places.
I was gonna put all the travel pictures there.
Over there.
Yeah, I kind of want to leave soon, to be honest.
Oh, here? Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you better go do your shit.
Yeah,
that's just crazy. You're telling me about it.
I don't know.
It's almost unbelievable.
I don't know if I'm exactly gonna do that. I got a lot of things I want to do.
I feel you.
So if I can work with comedians or someone and make just content, then I don't really have to do that.
Yeah, I mean that's like the goal, right?
If I can just work on my business and actually turn it into real revenue, then I wouldn't even have to do that. That would be the goal.
Yep.
But I feel like I can see that in the sometime near future.
No, yeah, dude. You're getting there.
We'll see. We'll gotta figure it out. But all right, buddy. I got some questions. How's your Wim Hof breathing? Ben started doing Wim Hof. How's that changed you? How's that experience? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you recommend it? Have you been looking into other forms of breathing? And # when are you gonna start exercising?
Well, that was very blunt of you. No, but no, I would recommend it. I recommend it to literally everybody in my life. There's not a single person that I talk to that I don't recommend breathing to. I swear to God.
Bringing up DMT to everybody.
Everybody in my life I talk to about breathing. Dude, I mean, it's at this point to me, it's like fundamental. Like I every day, like there's I don't neglect it. It's incredibly important to me, to my mental state and just like how I feel physically. It's insane. Like it's
good.
And I called bullshit on the breathing stuff for a long time.
I know you're one of those guys.
I was a hater for a while. Yeah, I was a hater, and
even though science.
What got me into it, and you should remember this. Remember that night that we were chilling at Dom's?
Yes.
And I said to you, I was like, "Yo, I'm feeling mad anxious right now, right? Like I'm having a lot of anxiety." And he's like, "All right, we're gonna do this Wim Hof breathing right now." And I'm like, "Nah, like I'm just letting you know and shit, whatever, blah blah blah." He's like, "Nah, do this Wim Hof breathing with me." And we fucking did it. And then after we got done, it was literally just one round. After we got done, I was like, "Holy shit! Like my anxiety is gone." Like legitimately, like my anxiety just evaporated. That's crazy.
You didn't say it at the time, but
no, I did say it at the time.
No, you didn't like fully like say it at the time. You were kind of like, But I guess like once you fully reconciled it afterwards, you must.
No, that's how I felt in the moment. I said it. I swear to God, I said it. What do you mean that you don't know? What did I say in the moment? What do you think I said?
In the moment, you were kind of just like, this is cool, this is all right, and shit.
I don't know what
I feel like it didn't hit you right
so.
away. I feel like maybe afterwards you eventually realized how powerful maybe it was.
All I know is it works. That's it. That's all I know. All I know is literally if I'm feeling anxious or anything, I'm not feeling good. I need to clear my head out, bro. Like I just breathe like multiple times a day. Sometimes like I'll actually do a couple rounds. Depends. It depends on the day. I like to get up in the morning. You know what I like to do?
What's that?
I like to go sit out on the front porch in the cold and do my first breathing for the day. That's what I like to do.
Yeah,
feels nice. Yeah,
it's nice.
But
that's good, buddy.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, like that zone you get into is like unmatched.
Real like meditative flow state.
Especially like for me though, because like I think a lot. Like I'm always thinking about something.
You need a break to it.
Yeah, and then but like here's the thing, like it just spawns better thinking.
Yes, well, it helps you organize.
Exactly. It's and like when you really get into like when you're doing the breath holds. Oh, like, dude, I'm in my zone in the breath holds, bro. Like, I love them, bro.
You're supposed to be, bro.
But, like, bro, like, the capacity in my lungs be growing to, it blows my mind, honestly. Because sometimes, like, my lungs they feel like balloons, bro. The amount of, like capacity balloons, I have. Bro. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. Like, that, when you take that recovery breath, bro, it's like...
Now you got to start...
Like, oh, my God, I just feel so fulfilled.
Now you got to start exercising, bro. So when's that going to start? When's that journey going to start?
I'm doing a lot of mental exercising right now.
Come on, bro.
No, I know. I'm trying to start going with Dom.
Even if you don't, bro, I have a gym in my basement, bro. We can start working out.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on I'm working on my environment right now. That's like the number one thing I'm trying to. Good. And then that'll come.
That's a good environment, though.
Oh yes.
Exercising.
That's a behavior I gotta pick up.
Yeah.
I gotta give some devotion to it.
Vitamins.
Yeah, I gotta give it some dedication.
Yeah. I'll get it.
No, yeah, I'm taking steps. I'm taking steps to be to where I want to be.
It's very good, bro. I'm happy about that.
I'm tired of being skinny like this.
No, and it's not only about skinny. It's really about your mental health and anything.
Oh yeah, mental health.
That's number one. And I see a lot of people you look good, you feel good, and it all incorporates and stuff. So.
It's important. So I'm somebody who would preach that, but I don't
that's the
another
thing
that
hard. It's a lot of people do preach it and don't really go to the gym 2 times a week or 3 times a week, and they preach all this shit.
Another thing that I'm like, I want to get into that I have to like discipline myself a little bit about is my diet. I have a poor diet.
Diet and vitamins.
I have a very poor diet.
That's a game changer, bro. It really is.
But it's like this stuff like stems out of convenience. That's like the problem.
It's true, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it's so convenient in this country. Like it's so easy to eat bad. Like it's so much easier for me to fucking get in the car and go to Wendy's.
And at the end of the day, you gotta blame our government wants us fat. They want us fat. These conglomerates have been open since day one. They've never been shut down. I'm allowed to stand in line at Walmart and Costco and McDonald's, but businesses have been shut down for.
Where's the tinfoil at?
Wow! But no, that was my first real insight into like actual truths about conspiracy. When you start looking into when I started going hard, learning about facts about nutrition, and then going into the food industry. And then going into how manipulated it is and how they lied about how good and healthy sugar is for you and how healthy tobacco is for you. And
tobacco? Who's saying tobacco's healthy?
Back in the day, there's studies that would
back
show,
in the day, yeah.
They have science to prove it. And then eventually it comes to a point where people are literally smoking their lungs black. And it's like there's no other causation but tobacco. They're like, all right, yeah, all of our science, we lied about that, by the way. And
is that like, did that happen? Did they like?
It happens with everything. It's happening with COVID now. It's happening with every single thing, bro. Everything. So that was like when you start really looking into, and like at the end of the day, like you have scientists making chips and cookies and like sugar, like the what sugar does to your body. Sugar is one of the strongest drugs ever. Like this narrative that we push that we have this high sugar diet, put sugar in a lot of our things, and get our society addicted to these fast foods. And then it's like heroin getting off this fucking stuff. It's the same thing as drugs. Withdrawing off this. I'm telling you, I ran marathons. I drove across the country. I did a couple hard things. Yeah. I'm not a savage like a Marine or a Navy SEAL. But the hardest thing I ever did in my life, and I lost weight and stuff. The hardest thing I ever did in my life was stop eating shit food for I went hard for like a month and I completely changed my now I'm in a place where my lifestyle is where I exercise so much that it low-key needs certain calories. I need some fast calories, but I still try to stay predominantly pretty healthy. But the hardest thing I ever did was completely withdraw my diet. That was an average American, maybe pancakes and cereals and sandwiches for lunch and something for dinner, rices and pizzas and whatever it is for cheeseburgers and hot dogs for pizza, and then snacks at the end of the night, whatever it is, like the normal person. And then getting off that was honestly, difficult. Truthfully, being true with myself and not cheating on that shit, hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. So I don't really.
You still enjoy some mozzarella sticks every once in a while.
Oh, now I got. But that was when I was chubby and I was trying to fight that. Now I have a 6-pack and I can run miles. I can do pull-ups and I can lift weights, and pound for pound, I'm one of probably the strongest kids in my gym. So it's that's nice. So it's these are and then it gets to a point I also got to a point where I was exercising. That's dude, I had an aesthetic goal. That was the whole goal. Like once you're chubby, you have an aesthetic goal, and I got just cut. And I never really wanted to get jacked. I just wanted to get cut as fuck. There's one time, like I have pictures. Like I was so cut. I'm pretty cut now. I'm a pretty skinny kid, but I was so cut. And then it got to a point. It's like, who really gives a shit? Like who? Like there's like, I guess you're really doing it for chicks. And at that point, like, but like you're going to the beach and like. No chick's gonna come up to you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's important to do it for yourself.
It's important to do it for yourself, but it's important to have goals with it too. I see a lot of kids, but then it comes to a point where I this is just me and my evaluation and notice. There's a lot of kids fall out of the gym grind after they get to maybe their goals, or maybe they start doing it for a while and they get complacent, right? And that's because they have no goals. Whether that's running even just a 5K. Like most people don't have any goals, whether it's actually gaining weight. Most of it's just aesthetic goals. Right? It's like, oh, I want a 6-pack, or it's like, I want to get to like 160 pounds. And most people, like, that's not like a serious, or if they were like, I want to get to like 175 pounds pure muscle. Like, for certain people, like, they say this, but that's not a realistic. It's like, bro, you're 15 pounds away from that. You're not going to get that pure muscle. You don't even have pure muscle right now. Like, you're going to have to change your whole like, these aren't realistic goals. My opinion that I found, and even from, reading books, like especially Jordan Peterson broke this down, like you got to constantly keep setting goals. Yeah. And it's not, business is one of them. Life is one of them. Finances, maybe the female thing, whatever. If you want to start with a good relationship and get a good relationship, these are all like little goals that you got to chase. And with fitness, I found that you have to have these constant goals to continue to grind in the gym and continue to actually want to show up low-key. Because you get to a point where you're like in good shape and you're like, who really gives a fuck? Like now I'm in good, and this was me. I had this realization where I'm just like, I'm in good shape. Like who really gives a shit? Like what am I going to do? Like what's the point at this? Like who really cares that I have a 6-pack? Like I've gotten to this point. And now I'm kind of challenging myself where I want to do exercise for, like I want to do like basically, I'm going to start doing like more like races and stuff like that, but I want a bigger goal in the aspect of I want to do like some sort of charity work for all of my
philanthropy.
Yeah, some sort of philanthropy sounds so fucking scammy because Bill Gates and shit ruined the name of philanthropy because now he's vaccinating the world. But
I don't know anything about that.
Yes, fair enough, Ben. You'll stay out of that one.
No. We'll talk. I wanted to come on today and talk about some things I don't know about with you. I want to hear about some stuff. I want to hear what you got going on.
What do you want to talk about?
What's behind the curtains? Whatever. Take me on a journey. Take me on a trip right now.
Well, I'll be honest. There's a lot of things that we can't talk about that are scientific facts that probably just get me shadow banned or in trouble or walking this, which is insane. That's the first red flag, is this censorship that we're battling against these social media companies, and they all lean. You almost can't call it left anymore. It's just they lean this totalitarian, authoritarian kind way.
I would rather refer to it as leftism than liberalism, because it doesn't even fit.
Well, really, the left, realistically, in American terms, the left,
they're leftists.
The left is, you almost just want to say the left is the Democrat Party, but these people that are trying to silence you are not leftists. I'm going to throw out some Jones. They're globalists. These people are globalists trying to take us over, tell us how to think, tell us how to live, tell us what gender we are, tell us who's racist, who's at fault. And then at the moment we start falling for it, and then they start blatantly, the media is blatantly putting out disinformation for the last 2 years with this COVID, Trump for 40. So it's scary. It's scary. Disinformation too. And there's a difference between dis and miss.
Yeah. Do you put the fault of that in malevolence, or do you put the fault of that in greed?
Well, you could say greed falls under malevolence. The better question would I say it's from malevolence or incompetence?
I would say intention dictates whether it would be. I feel like you could say greed is malevolent in a sense, but greed could definitely cause you to do malevolent things. But saying, do you think at heart of it, do you think that they're putting out fake news because they get views, they get attention, they get money?
They don't get views. No.
Do you think it's what they're attempting to do?
Yes, I think they're attempting.
Or do you think it's because they're part of the agenda?
Honestly, I think this a part of the. I think we are in a massive. I think we're witnessing like real life brainwashing, and we're always getting brainwashed. Sure. Marketing is a form of brainwashing, right? Like you could even argue like me speaking, you listening. Influence itself is brainwashing. I can understand that, but yeah, I think we're living in a massive like almost like a brainwash. It's a formation. It's a specific word, formation psychosis, where like you're forming to a certain thought that's not real.
Sure.
Even not backed by anything, and it's just adopted authoritarian. I guess it falls under the fallacy of listening to authority. And if authority says it and mainstream media says it and celebrities say it because they're all paid to, right? Sponsored by Pfizer, sponsored by this, that, and the third.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. That you just said that. Did you see that video that came out about the Romanian president who like was calling Pfizer and like the EU out and shit?
No, was this recently?
Yeah, he's like this is the he was like, I asked for a contract to show on national television because we're talking about transparency, and this is the contract they gave me. And he just starts showing the pages; they're literally all blacked out. Like some of the pages are completely blacked out and shit. Yeah. He's like he's screaming. He's like, this is transparency.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you've been following anything that's happening in Congress with Fauci, it's like, I mean, you go on social media and these people are like, oh, don't be mean to Fauci. He's just trying his best. And then realistically, like, you go to Congress, bro, like he's selling our country out. And now his emails have been released that in August, he knew that the virus got leaked from this lab. We funded this lab. The lab was originally started in North Carolina doing all this research, and it was too dangerous, and we moved to Wuhan. Our tax dollars funded this research. This was gain of function research. He's still defending gain of function research. So this is all the U.S.'s
fault?
No, it's not. No, it's not all. It happened in China. It's China's fault as well. But the U.S. has a massive part to do with this.
It's the U.S.'s research.
We gave him grants. Yeah, we gave them grants, and we didn't check their...
Is that to loosen this?
No, you're good.
Is it there? Is it in a good spot?
You're good to go.
Doesn't feel.
We gave them grants and to do specific research, which was gain of function research, which gain of function in itself is arguably dangerous research, and we probably shouldn't be creating these super dangerous, deadly, infectious diseases that maybe are unnatural already. Because yeah, I understand the idea that we got to learn about them to maybe protect ourselves, but they're not out there and they're not real technically. And now we're creating something that's dangerous and real. So that's really the argument. And then the biggest argument is Fauci lied about it for a while. Like he said, there's no gain of function. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. We didn't do this. And then it all came out and he's like, yeah, we did this, but it's not that bad. Yeah, we did this, but it's not that bad. Yeah, we did this, but it's not that bad. This, that, and the third, this, that, and the third. And if you look into the way he covered the AIDS epidemic, there's an argument that the same thing, like, so there's been a chart that come out with COVID, and they say over probably 500,000 Americans died of COVID because the healthcare system either suppressed treatment or maybe took too long to provide treatment. And this is like quick instant care, like, so antibodies right away, ivermectin, hydroxy, like even these words right now are banned. And now in the emails, it's coming out that they originally knew from day one that ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine were used to combat this virus. And that's why they have to create a vaccine. And that's why they have to push the vaccine, is because there's no way to make money off these generic drugs that are already made and already, you can get them basically anywhere and mass produced. So now you have to create a new vaccine and say that there's no protection or no medical protection or medical, there's no other medical solution, I guess you could say. There's no other medical solution than our new emergency vaccine. So it's an emergency mandate. So now we get it enforced.
So what was the purpose?
In my opinion, and this is going to go full conspiracy. And
wait, so let me ask you a question. Do you think all these players in the game, right? Do you think they're all pieces on a chessboard of some grand master plan? Like every single one, like Fauci, like all these people involved?
I think Fauci is the highest paid government official. I think Fauci has much more power and alliance than, we can get into that as well. It's just been proven that a lot of this stuff.
So all this stuff happening is all like is one scheme. Do you think there's any natural occurrences within the function is the question?
I'll give you this.
Like natural instances, like what do you think about like
I'll
AOC?
give you this. Okay.
Like is AOC just like a pawn, or
I
is
think
she like
AOC
playing
just
a
a
chess
pawn.
game?
AOC just a pawn. AOC is playing her own chess game, and the people love her and the women love her.
Oh, but she's not part of the big picture.
Probably not. Probably.
Okay, so
they want her part of the big picture. They want because she pushes this socialistic
you mean
ideology.
the media picture? But I'm saying the big picture.
Yo, this is getting fun. This is about to get so lit.
I'm curious. I love hearing these.
Lit, man. We about to crack open the doors. All right. What do you say? What are you saying?
All right.
All right. Let me just go.
Okay, fine.
Let me just go. Do you know who Klaus Schwab is?
No.
Oh, drop a comment if you know who Klaus Schwab is.
No clue.
All right, this is where we go in. Klaus Schwab is some billionaire, and he is a German fella. He's a German physicist or something like that, and he is head or founder of the World Economic Forum. And
Okay, now
what is the World Economic Forum?
no. See, now the fact that you just said, I know what the World Economic Forum is.
So okay,
but
Klaus Schwab.
The fact that you're bringing him up in this conspiracy theory is funny to me, and the reason that for that being the case is
It's not a conspiracy. All right.
so benign.
All right. Klaus Schwab.
Are you saying that the World Economic League is part of the conspiracy?
All right. Fair enough.
I just finished watching probably my favorite show of all time, Peaky Blinders, and
Peaky Blinders.
the World Economic League's involved, and they're doing some shit with Soviet Union and some Russian shit, and they're doing some spy shit. And
It's nice.
Is that the case? Is that what the World Economic League's doing?
So the World Economic Forum is where some of the top businessmen, scientists, engineers, leaders, chairmen, people that sit on chairs and boards meet and go. They might meet in Switzerland. I think it's in Switzerland. And they go and meet and they talk about finance and economics and this, that, and the third. At the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab had this weird introduction basically about how he's turning it to the guy, this intellectual guy that's a mathematician just went on Joe Rogan and basically broke down what he was saying, and they listened to it. And he was saying that they're changing from normal capitalistic. They want to change it from normal capital. They want to basically make like a world capitalism. They want to make a world like global economy, global market, and they want to all in tie because we know right now that China and Russia are building a pipeline to share oil and share gas and sell and trade to each other. They're building multiple, I think, trains and railways, but specifically the pipeline is pretty intense. That's pretty. I think that's pretty big. And so they meet at this World Economic Forum, and he basically says that they're changing. I think they're changing to like virtue capitalism or venture capitalism, where basically the economy is going to be run by the top billionaires that own the actual capital. And
wait, they're going to function in an economy on...
You can watch the whole thing. I didn't watch the whole thing. But then, so Klaus Schwab talked at the World Economic Forum. He said his thing, and then he brought up the leader of the Chinese Communist Party, Xi Jinping. You know, he's a great guy. Fucking really wholesome guy. Cares about his people for sure. And society first for Xi Jinping, you know. Cares about all people, all gender, all colors, all creed. And then later at the World Economic Forum, the Lord and Savior Dr. Fauci spoke right after, maybe not right after, but a little bit after Xi Jinping. And the World Economic Forum is probably not the most wholesome guys, and they're not the nicest people in the world. They maybe don't have the best intentions.
Doesn't sound like it.
Some would say. So that who is Klaus Schwab, and he also came out with his book, I think last year, called The Great Reset.
He did?
Klaus Schwab did, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know if he tried to make money off it.
And what was it about?
And basically, I'm not exactly sure, but basically it's about the transfer. Like we've been in like the U.S. and again,
it's about the transfer to that economy.
The transfer of money right now. Like the richest people have gotten richer and richer over COVID and this epidemic, and they've gotten more power, more control. And they're going to they've basically built this system to then, even if they open up all these economies and world economies, they're going to just get more power and more control. And basically, that's kind of the argument. It's the Great Reset is they're going to reset the world economy and go on this like global economic exchange. And the richest people in the world are going to are going to be in charge of what goes on and what's to say. But it's kind of an argument of maybe what's already happening with the Federal Reserve, right? Or who even is the people that fund? Who is it? The Federal Reserve? Who even are they? Isn't it like just a fund of random people that nobody really knows?
That's just a quirk of the legislation.
What does that mean?
Like the Federal Reserve has to function as a private bank in order for it to serve its purpose.
But it's just technically a bunch of rich people that fund America?
No, it's owned by the government. There's a lot of like conspiracy. I'm sticking to the sound and true right now.
Okay. Sounding true.
There's a lot of conspiracy about
But isn't the bank
who owns, like you'll see, it's like, did you guys know that the Federal Reserve is privately owned? Who owns the Federal Reserve?
Yeah.
It's owned by the government. It's just like for it to serve it's fake. It's like
it's not real.
It's
though.
a fugazi. Yeah.
Yeah. So either it is just rich people pumping money.
Who knows? I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It's just what my understanding is. I mean, I don't know.
But the understanding literally makes no sense, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, because like
they either have a bank account that just
we have a fiat currency. Everything's bullshit. Yeah, that has to make sense. You have to accept that.
I know, but that's the problem.
You have to play by the rules.
That is the problem.
The rules of tag are bullshit.
All right, so then
you have to play by the rules of the game.
Now let's get into a deeper concept. All right, so you want to keep going before I get. We'll stay there. We'll stay. We're all over the place because I do want to go deeper with this. The COVID is very interesting, but yes, I in my opinion, after everything that's come out and everything will continue to come out. And if you haven't done your research and you just read some headlines on MSNBC and you're like, Luke, sounds like a crazy conspiracy theorist. It's like, I wish I did sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist. But if you read your stuff about it, read your articles, read your books about this stuff, actually look into the science about COVID, there's really no other way around that. I believe COVID was probably leaked on purpose to destroy the world economy. And in America specifically,
is that what the theory is?
Yes, to destroy the world economy and then change the world economy. And then, in my opinion, I think in America, they're probably going to somewhat blame it on Donald Trump, whether we like it or not. Or I think our history books are just going to write that Donald Trump kind of was at fault for. They're going to make this narrative that he was this horrible guy that divided the country, which you can make the narrative, this, that, and the third. But to say that he was at fault for what happened with COVID is not true. And I do tend, in my opinion, I tend to low-key think they're probably going to just throw the books at him for that. Like, yeah, in 50 years, like kids will learn that the 2019
so
to 2000.
What do you think Donald Trump knows about the grand scheme?
Well, he made the vaccine. So he has to sell that he's in it. And he played the game, bro. He played the game. I don't think my view on Trump changed a little bit. I don't know.
You think he was
I think it was hard. Like I think realistically, like he did get elected from the Electoral College. They want, like, in a way, there's a certain amount of, not they. I wouldn't say they because the media.
You think the
U.S. government, in a way, wanted, like, I mean, government workers wanted him in a way.
I'm saying, okay, but do you?
He won.
I mean, yeah, when you really think about the political system, like,
right, like they didn't want Hillary.
There's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
But do you think, why was he so ostracized from the community? Do you think he was a pawn as well, or do you think he was?
There could be an argument he was a pawn.
Or do you think he just didn't play? He didn't play the game and they didn't like it?
Either he didn't play the. He played the game enough. Well, we can admit that. He played the game enough. He didn't take us out of Middle East. He probably should have. We kept kind of bombing things and making money and doing our thing in the Middle East. He was pumping the military-industrial complex. So in that aspect, the corporate government, I don't think, hated him that much. I think maybe they said they did, and he knew they said he did. But at the end of the day, he was wetting some people's hands, and he really was. He was wetting some pockets. He was filling them. The way he handled the media and social media, was it a pawn to try to,
or maybe
fire up the average working man just to get that vote, and he didn't give a fuck either way? Maybe he does kind of stand. In my opinion, if you want to get super conspiratorial, I don't even think it's that conspiratorial because some of this is proven. You have Skull and Bones. You have all these different kind of like cliques and frats, right? You have rich boy frats, right? And in my opinion, Trump's probably boys with certain maybe mafia frat guys, who knows, high power people that maybe don't fuck with the main people that are in power and in government, and especially in media. It's this obvious, this media attack of Trump. I don't know how much all politicians across all Congress, Senate, and the board actually feel about Trump, but the politicians that are on the media,
a lot of people
on TV hate Trump.
A lot of people genuinely like hate Donald Trump.
Yes.
Which is like so odd to me because like a year before he was president, like Donald Trump was like a cultural icon.
It was just like celebrity TV.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody know,
like
nobody had a problem with Donald Trump. Like nobody was ever calling Donald Trump a racist and shit. And then all of a sudden, like the world hates him. It was a very drastic transformation, but I thought it was almost like comic. But like, what if his goal, like, all right, this is now the theory I'm going to pose. This is all theoretical for me. I'm just going to lay that out. I tend to stick to the hard and tried
facts. Stick to the facts.
But what if he's all part of the game, but his job was to be the divisor?
And that's completely plausible.
What if he walked into that role knowing he was playing that role? Like he's like, they're like, plausible. Trump, look, we want you to run for president. We want you to win. We want you to divide the country. Right? Like, what if that was his goal?
Want us to divide the country.
What if that was the goal, right?
But you could also make the argument, like, so this is when
now they're done with him. Now then the DOJ investigation came back. There was no tampering with the 2020 election. Blah blah blah.
He accepted the defeat.
Yeah,
he was gonna. I think the idea they were gonna challenge the election on January 6th, and then, I mean, again, I think in my opinion they let January 6th happen to blame it on Donald Trump, and then I think Trump was like, fuck, they got me good. And then just kind of gave up on everything. And then he's going to run again. I don't know. And I think you got to think, I think maybe we're giving Trump and some of these politicians too much broad term credit. You got to think about Trump, specifically Trump too, because he goes to these rallies and he has thousands and probably millions of people that fucking like love him like that. Like, Trump. And so like he's living in this world where like millions of people fucking love me, dude. And he doesn't really care about the millions of people. He's probably such like a psycho, like famous person now that he's so tapped out of reality that he's just like, dude, millions of people love me, bro. I'm just keep grinding and keep having them love me. Just keep saying whatever.
So you think he's a pawn? Or do you think? So that's what
I think they're all a pawn.
So who's playing chess?
They're all a pawn, and they're all playing. What do you mean? Who's playing chess?
Who are the grand masterminds behind this all? Who's dictating all? Who's making these people's pawns? Like whose agenda are these people being pawns a part of? Is the question. Like, is it the Illuminati? Is it the Freemasons? Is it aliens? Is it lizard people? Who is it? So where are they at?
So you go full. We'll go full conspiratorial. You're talking black magic, and we're talking lizard people and shit.
Do you believe in lizard people?
We're talking black magic and lizard people. Black magic with a fucking K. Black magic with a K and lizard people, okay? That's conspiratorial. Realistic terms, it's probably the richest people in the world and bankers and people that are trying to play God. Because I think when you get so rich, there's a point, and it's not, I don't want to say it's proven, but you can just watch like that, how rich people move. They get rich and they start doing psychedelic drugs and trying to do all this shaman and trying to figure out the meaning to life. And I don't blame them.
Is that a sound fact? Like, is Jeff Bezos doing that?
Jeff Bezos is trying to fly to the fucking moon, bro. Yeah, yes.
You think so?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Of course, bro. These guys they think they're better than all of us, and in a way they are. In a way they are. I don't give a fuck, dude. You know what I'm saying? But I do, yeah. And there's so the one guy I like, Callan, like his dad's the CIA, and he's around a lot of rich people. He's been in a lot of movies. Like when rich people get a lot of money, like even richer than the celebrity money, like real money, they just try to figure out like what the meaning. They just try to get all deep and like, what's the meaning to life, and like what's my purpose, and who is God. They try to find God and aliens and shit. And there's a lot of arguments you might be able to find them because you hear these stories. You hear certain stories.
Yeah, like doing the DMT.
And who knows what's true? Who knows what's been passed down? And who knows who's believing what and who
only
heard
God
what
knows.
Story and stuff.
Only God knows.
But and who is God? God doesn't even know who God is. That's Alex Jones. God is trying to figure out God, and that is the world we're living in.
Is Alex Jones God?
Some would say.
Alex Jones Jesus Christ, our Savior, our Lord?
Is Jesus Christ real? I had the conversation with Jake Berlaga about Jesus Christ, about the legitimacy of the historical facts of Jesus Christ, the real human being. It's interesting. Who knows?
Yeah.
But going back to it, realistically, it's probably the richest people in the world, the people that probably own all the banks, which means they probably own all the oil companies for real. Probably some Saudis. There's
But do you think this is like all the people who own these things off the paper? Or do you think this is like the legitimate owners of these things?
Off paper.
So when it says like, oh, this guy is the owner of...
And then that would get into the conspiracy too, when you can start adding in like the Pope and shit like that. You have the gray Pope. I don't even know who that is. I know.
I don't know.
You have a Braxis. Do you know who Braxis is?
No.
Braxis is a 8-foot lizard person that lives in the center of the earth.
What mythology is this from?
Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Tibetan Book of the Dead?
Yeah.
What is that?
You know the Tibetan Book of the Dead?
No.
It's one of the oldest books.
And that's okay.
So they believe in like...
What is it, like a deity?
All right, so they believe in like loosh energy. I talked about this before. They believe in loosh energy. There's energy all around us, and humans specifically, like we are in a magnetic... And they kind of prove this, which is we're in like this magnetic energy... like force field of just life, like energy's flowing everywhere around us, right? We're giving off energy, we're taking in energy. And the argument is that there is a deity or an alien or a type of being that feeds off of our energy, right? So they feed off of our energy, and that could even, this is me just throwing out a quick idea, that could even be the argument, like, so then people that do black magic or all this witchcraft shit, those would probably be the people trying to take over the world because they want more energy, and maybe you could say the social media is making us fight with each other because they need more negative energy to suck up the illusion. But the ancients believe this, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff in it.
Okay,
How do you feel about that?
That's intense.
Yeah, it is intense. But there's an argument that the lizard people feed off the loosh energy.
Oh, well, that's good to know. So, how should I carry myself in the face of the lizard people?
To continue, I guess to continue to chase and let free will happen.
Okay, they enjoy that.
No, the bad people don't enjoy free will, but that's good. God and
being a rebel
and Almighty, but yeah,
I'm being a rebel.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how many people do you think actually are out there who believe that there are lizard people? What all this shit? Like, how many do you think there's people out there who truly believe that with all their heart, that are like mentally sane, like they don't have?
How many mentally sane people you think Adam and Eve were placed here just from fucking bloop? Or how many people? And I don't know. Maybe they were. Maybe they were put here.
How many people do I think legitimately believe that?
How many people
in this day and age
believe
in the United States?
How many people in the world?
In the world,
and you're talking millions at that point. Legitimately believe that Mary was a virgin and gave birth to Jesus. She had no sex and was impregnated by God.
I'd say
we're talking hundreds, probably of millions of people. Straight up will die on that.
I would say maybe like a quarter of the population.
A lot. That's a lot of people, bro. It is a lot,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people really believe these things?
I mean,
how many people believe that Jesus did these things, saved people from leprous disease or whatever it's pronounced, saved these people from turned the blind to see, How many people believe them metaphorically? How many people believe them literally? Because there's a lot of people who would say they believe, but there's a lot of people that would break down them metaphorically, but would have to die on the stand of people. Literally too. People believe. Well, if they don't believe it literally, then how can you almost believe it metaphorically? Then it's not real. In a way, you can, but then it's just a story. No, I think you can believe in the lesson, in the metaphor. Of course, you can believe in the lesson, but then the religion kind of falls. No, well, that's why Christianity's dead. Christianity died a long time ago. It's dead. To you, it's dead. And it's not the way of life. But it's blissful ignorance. But that's your argument. Sure. I mean, there's nothing else to it. Like you can't there's no ounce of phenomenological evidence for these things. There's a lot of you see a lot of almost like neurochemical evidence for these experiences people have when they're on these drugs and shit. And there's a lot of bits and pieces of evolutionary sort of psychological development throughout the Bible and stuff. Neurological evidence. I'm sure there's neurological evidence and probably just experiential evidence of just seeing people's better their life of just that's the point of it. It's an ideology, right? And it comes with dogma, as a lot of ideologies do. Yes. So it's like but why are we saying what is the point I'm trying to make? You know, what are we talking about? people believing in things that probably aren't real, but actually believing in them, and they're competent. It's like think about the civilized.
I'm saying you could believe in the ideology, but understand that that's what it is.
Okay, well then I'll give you another one. Think about a civilized society that 100% believe, or at least 100% live with, and take the actions out that Jewish people destroyed their economy and they need to go to
I know.
camps and should die for that.
Yeah, I've studied
That's crazy as hell.
I've studied all this.
That's crazy though. They can get to that point. And just 100% believe it. It's like, you destroyed it.
But that had a lot to do with the fact that Christianity was dead. And that's what Nietzsche talks about in The End of the Will to Power. He called that. He predicted that. Almost maybe you could say maybe he manifested it. Who knows? Sadly, if it's... He said, he's like, the death of Christianity has destroyed the foundation of Western civilization, and it will lead to the deaths of hundreds of millions I think he said hundreds of millions or millions of people in the 20th century. And then it happened. 2 world wars, a lot of totalitarian, authoritarian states.
But we're still fighting this totalitarianism. And
because there's no structure. It's a hot debate between when you look into the world of the ideological debate.
But in a way, I'm playing devil's advocate. You just said religion is just like ideological kind of BS in a way. Not BS.
It is.
But it was the structure that saved us from Hitler's.
Here's the thing. It focused us on a pursuit of good and the truth, which is how it like kind of fucked itself over, because then in the pursuit of the truth, everybody figured out that Christianity was like that it was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That was the problem. And that like that's what Nietzsche attributes to it. It's like in its disciplinary capacity, it's always served and will continue to serve its purpose. But like logically, it's just illogical at this point. To believe in that. So you can structure your life around those rules, right? Like that's what Nietzsche talks about. He's like the person who's able to transcend the civil structure of like our society and build their own moral structure will become akin to God, right? That's like the point. And that's what Hitler took way out of line with his whole Superman ideology that you saw, take place in Nazi Germany. Yeah. But that's like the purpose, like to be able to objectively take these truths of life that you can place as your axioms and believe firmly and attempt to carry out life in the best manner you can to your own higher responsibility, right? So to kind of take away the toxicity of it, like the toxicity of the dogma and do it for your being and the betterment of your environment, the people within it and stuff like that. That's the purpose. Right, but then that just fails because people don't have a capacity to do that. That's why people latch on to things like totalitarian regimes and like the rhetoric that they spew and things like this, because they're just like in the sea with nothing. They're in the chaos with nothing. Yeah. And it's just like they need something. Again, you sound something, and emotionally, that's the number one thing. If people think too emotionally, people forget how to kind of think objectively and logically. Like, and people don't think. Like, if you ask the majority of people, like, when's the last time you like you sat down for 30 minutes and thought, like, went through a thought process in your head at all, like vocalized with yourself, worked something out? When's the last time you did something like that? Really pondered something, questioned something to yourself, tried to come to any sort of realize. People just don't do that. Yeah. People are very stimulated. There's a lot going on in modern society, which kind of like dumbs you down and hides you from sort of that like sort of pursuit of philosophy. Yes. But like, yeah, so with nothing, you hear something that emotionally suits you, and like you feel like you have no meaning subconsciously, maybe consciously, and like you latch onto that as like a meaning, as like a truth to your life, and something to sort of pursue and something to be a part of, makes you feel comfortable. And like that's why people, you see like Donald Trump getting elected in 2016, people crying in the streets. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you were to ask them the question, like, if their lives probably didn't change in any way, like, you know what I'm saying? It may be in very slight ways, but like, it's like, exactly. What are you so like? It's like,
and the argument is that most people like in those situations probably don't have any real problems in their life, so they're making up.
Sure,
I have fucking PTSD, anxiety, and they start listing off.
That's like the whole fad.
It's the fad. It's like, well, I have insomnia, anxiety, PTSD, depression.
Middle school.
And it's like, dude, do you, bro? Or it's like, what the fuck?
Remember, like in middle school, every girl was like possibly bisexual, or like thinking they're all like bisexual and depressed, or like bisexual, with bipolar disorder. Or some shit. All of them had some bullshit going on.
Themselves and shit.
Every single one. Like you talk to a girl, like if you were really talking to a girl and like got deep on it, with all of them, every single one of them had some problem going on like that.
I mean, even nowadays they'll still probably cling on to a few labels, and that's a big problem in my opinion. Is the labeling. Like, I believe there are people with mental illnesses and anxiety, depression, but like these youngsters just accepting a label, and even also doctors giving them a label.
It's all
you have anxiety, so then for the rest of your life, it's like I have anxiety. So it's like it's almost a cop out for certain. It's like, dude, you're supposed to have anxiety in certain situations, and that's the reality.
Here's the problem, though. When everybody labels themselves with those things, then the people who really suffer, because there's people who really out there probably were going through shit, and just because everybody's copping on some attention-seeking bullshit, then you never know if somebody's telling the truth or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can meet them.
That's a shame too.
Yeah, because like I'm somebody who's suffered with mental health. Like, I've been in and out of therapy. I've been on all the drugs.
And now this breathing is actually something that you thought was fucking woo woo, and it's like, holy shit.
And like, you know, so it's like it's funny to hear people talk about that kind of stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'll hear people like be like, oh yeah, I have like these anxiety attacks, but then like, and you know, maybe they're just not empathetic in any manner, but like, then I'll see them around somebody who's having an anxiety attack, and they'll the way they'll be treating this person while they're having an anxiety attack. I'm like, if that was me, if you were treating me like this, bro,
like knowledge, probably, right? They don't even know what an anxiety attack
feels like. They don't exactly means. That's why when somebody's definition. Like, you know, we're out in public and like it's a crowded place, and they're like, I'm like really having like I'm about to have an anxiety attack and shit, and they're like, oh, just stop, you're fine. Like, just stop, you're fine. Say shit like that, and then you're telling me you have anxiety. Like,
stop being a bitch.
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you understand how what she's experiencing.
For sure.
If you're saying things like that.
For sure. But again, I think at the end of the day, it really does stem from a lack of knowledge. Like, if you can understand these feelings, it's like, yeah, you feel anxious right now. It's like, this is something you can do to stop feeling anxious, or maybe there's a reason that you are anxious and you just kind of have to accept those feelings. But it's good to understand. It's like, now I'm not sad, or it's like maybe I'm not depressed, I'm sad, and it's easier if you can understand the difference. But now it's like nobody really cares, and like you said, no one thinks. So don't really, I'm depressed, man. It's fucking, I'm fucked.
Well, yeah, man, I just
hold on. It's like you fucking you gambled $1,000 away. That was your. It's like, come on, man. It's poker, bro.
Sure.
It's like, bro, come on.
Yeah, when people cause their own suffering and then like feel bad about it.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you're not depressed. It's like, you gambled a lot of money away. You spent $200 for a bottle service. You know what I'm saying, this weekend. That's on you. It's not my fault. $100 on Uber.
And well, I just want to emphasize as well, while we're having this conversation, that I'm not qualified in any manner to say whether or not somebody suffers from any sort of mental health problems or disorders or anything, but I'm just giving my perspective.
Yeah, I qualify, so
Luke QV qualifies.
But so I actually do want to ask. We talked about meaning and purpose, and people lacking maybe this purpose, and maybe you bringing up Nietzsche. Is it Nietzsche or is it Nietzsche?
I mean,
people say it all different.
Everybody
I'll pronounce Nietzsche.
When you get into this world, everything's
Nietzsche.
pronounced different, dude.
It's Nietzsche.
Like, even the way, like, I say deity.
Yeah, people call it deity.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the way I learned to say it, deity. Yeah. And so,
apples and amples. I'm just kidding. I was trying to think of something.
What are you, Fran from the name?
So, yo, you want to get some bagels and cream cheese? It's like, that's when you just get.
I hate when I hear. No, why do people say boggles? Can I get boggles?
I get bagels.
No boggles. It's a bagel.
It's a bagel. But so the idea of this lack of purpose. It's only every 30 minutes it stops, yeah. Unless you have like a super high quality like recording camera that's for it, but Lucas doesn't afford that, so if you want to donate to me, donate. But
how much are we talking?
Right, some of those cameras are thousands, bro. This camera setup right here is just a cheap, quick like $900 right now.
Yeah,
brand new.
That's still a lot though.
Brand new when it came out, it'd be more than that. But yeah, exactly. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. So some of these cameras are dummy bread. This doesn't even shoot 4K or anything. So some of those things that shoot 4K takes a lot of like storage to edit.
Yeah, that's a big thing with all this stuff, right? It's like storage and shit.
Power and so we'll see. We'll figure it out. But as of right now, I like it. And I like this. This is a little bit older camera. It's actually easier than the camera I was using before. So it's more, it's better. It's better for the podcast. But then, so I want to talk about meaning, this purpose, and people lacking it. And I want to talk about money and how it seems, specifically in America, I don't know too much about lifestyles in other places. I think I've talked to some people. It's a little bit different, a little bit less money hungry for the individual, and but again, less prosperous probably for the consumerism wise and financially wise, less prosperous. But I feel like America, where everybody is it's not even is in it. It's like you're automatic. Like you have, like the way and people will say it's capitalism, but capitalism is way better than anything we've experienced before. But this idea of just like growing up and living just to get a job and just to make money, and then to get a house, to make payments on the house, and have to work just to keep making payments on shit that you have, and now your life is just your whole life is basically just crunching numbers of how to pay this bill and then pay this, and then you have this money left over, go into this savings, and then you can maybe add this to. It's like, is there anything more to life than just fucking like salvaging money and trying to gather money and gather income and work? And
there should be.
What is this? I feel like low key our society, and I feel like our generation, and I don't know about the younger generations, they're probably suffering with some form of social media, social dilemma. I even firsthand, I think our generation, people are not good at speaking with each other. Like male, female, female, female. Like certain people, like not just certain. I think certain people in general have always have kind of social anxiety and not good social skills. Yeah. But I think now more even our generation, from we started being on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat since we were
young,
6th, 7th, 8th grade at the least. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then all through high school, like the kids we know in high school, we know them low key probably better on social media than we do in person, to a certain extent. Besides our friends.
Sure, a lot of people.
The kids we were in class with, we probably see more of their voice and their opinions on social media than in the classroom. Yeah. And I think that's just so weird.
I think the public education system in America is disastrous. I think it's a horrid thing. I think it's horrible.
But there's only so much. I agree. There's only so much you can do, bro. When you have half the way Canada does it, half the kids with freaking a single parents, that some of these, a quarter of those kids, the parents probably don't even want to take care of them and shit. Like it is a pain in the ass.
I think Canada does a good job.
What does Canada do?
So they direct you towards your aptitudes.
Okay, yeah. I think we should start leaning towards
like that. Like if somebody from a young age, like when you're younger, it's more general, but as you start to get older, like you start to demonstrate you have higher skills in certain things. Like they'll start to, and you're enjoying it, they'll start to lean you more towards that. Like by the time you get to high school, somebody who's very like artistically inclined will, like the majority of their day will be art. Like they'll be doing art, they'll be honing in on skills, like what they're kind of like what they like to do, what they're meant to do. In a sense, and I think it's much of an improvement over what we have now.
Yeah, where we're just feeding.
I think kids like hate getting educated because it's like a miserable experience.
I hated it. It was a miserable experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like I think that's a problem because I enjoy educating myself. I enjoy learning. I enjoy reading,
and I think most people, if you give them the benefit of the doubt, are probably somewhat curious.
Yeah, and especially if it's something that they're inclined to do, like they have a reason to, or they like to, and like. There's nothing wrong with letting people that, it's like specialize. There's no reason. I don't think everybody has to be so general. Like there's a lot of skills that I'll never use in my life because it's not what I want to do. And then there's somebody else who is going to do those things with their life, but they'll never need a lot of the skills that I have.
In the marketplace, you'll both need each other. Yeah. And now we both have each other.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't understand why.
No, I agree. But it's an old system. And
it is very old. And I think it sucks. Like it sucks the potential out of people.
Yeah,
it really does because it really just establishes that sort of rat race life.
And I think some of these young kids, even like us, now that social media is so big, and some of these, you got to give. There are some kind of successful and smart guys, famous. Mm-hmm. Like everything Gary Vee says is not horrible. Like even though he's maybe got his scheme and his little thing, but motivating kids to get out of the rat race and work for themselves and at least think for themselves is awesome. So I think a lot of these young kids do, and even us at a certain age, we realize like there's like not much of like a fucking rosy future in a certain aspect. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just, especially now, dude, shortages, and it might just be a market thing, but I don't know, like rent's going up by like 15, 16%. Food prices have gone up by almost like 20 to 40%.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Gas has gone up by dollars. Within the last few years, like within the last few months, technically, but it is a sad state of affairs. And then you have these massive corporations buying real estate. There's a big argument that, and I think it's a trend. I think a lot of people are not going to be buying and living I don't think there's going to be a lot of home ownership in the near future. I think our generation.
You think that's fading out?
100%. The biggest mortgage buyers and home purchasers, even single family home purchasers, this year was massive corporations like Zillow and big banks and stuff like that. And I think they're just going to try to rent them out to people. I think people, especially people, can work from home. So I think people are going to start to travel more. Not travel more, but just
be like more nomadish.
More nomadish. I think renting is going to go up. I think people don't want to be tied down to a broken HVAC system that costs $6,000
So the corporations will take over responsibility of those matters, and you're just
more than we've probably ever seen.
I don't like that idea.
I'm not saying that's going to be the norm in the future, in the near future, but I think it's going to be at a higher number than maybe we expect and than we've ever seen.
I don't like that idea.
It is because then they control the rent prices, they control the prices.
I want to own my home, for sure. Yeah, I want to build my first home. That's like the goal. Like maybe I'll have a house before that, but like my first home, I want it built. I want to have a contractor build it.
So I was actually, I got a little plan right now. I want to low key. I got to talk to some people. I've got to look and try to get some property and try to build a tiny house.
You're going to build the tiny house.
Build a tiny house.
How much is that going to run you?
So I have some plans. If you were to do it all, right now with everything, expensive and shortages and stuff.
Sure.
So it would be probably more expensive.
Lumber's expensive and shit.
If the economy teeters back to where it was, you're talking anywhere from, depending what you do, anywhere from 50 to 120 grand.
Jesus, really? So why wouldn't you just prefer a rail house at that point?
Because then that overhead, realistically, I don't want that. I don't really want a big house. I don't want a big home. This is just something that I'm thinking. So what I want to do, I want to build a real estate.
But how would you do something like this in those tiny house, like the podcast?
Oh, it'd be very difficult. You wouldn't be able to really low key do it.
So you would just to be done with the podcast?
No, I would just set up a studio in my tiny house to be able to do it, and then eventually, like realistically, I want to have multiple properties. I want to have multiple properties.
Sure.
And I do. Again, do I want to live my life longevity wise in a tiny house? Probably not. Maybe in a tiny.
Just as an experience.
Maybe a tinier home than what I'm in right now.
A ranch.
I don't like big houses. Yeah, even Thomas's house. But again, I might have.
You don't like Thomas's house?
It's too big for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a big freaking ranch. He's got multiple rooms and stuff. Like if Thomas is in there alone, he doesn't need that big of a house. In an argument sense, it's kind of like he doesn't have, but it's a waste of money in certain instances, right? Like if you don't have kids and wife, like you don't need. His house is nice. I was surprised by how big it actually was, and he's got like a huge master bedroom, another bedroom, closet, bathrooms and stuff all in there.
So nice though.
Yeah, he's got a lot that he's got to work on, but it's
like
a big house. But even that, like I don't know, I don't need that many things. I do need at least exactly. If I'm taking the podcast serious, I need a studio for the podcast. Of course, I agree. And but if I do a tiny home, this is my ideal. I want to build a tiny home in an area where I can probably by the mountains, either Utah, Colorado.
Sure.
Snowboard.
Aspen.
Put it on Airbnb. Aspen's retarded expensive. Probably not going to get shit in Aspen. But we can dream, maybe. But probably not Aspen, anywhere but Aspen and Vail and stuff. They say Aspen. Whoa. Dude, your mic is fine. You're good.
I don't know. It just feels too low.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Like shrink it down to it.
Yeah, shrink down to it a little bit, yeah. But
I almost flipped the table
moving it for an hour. But they say Aspen per square foot is more expensive than New York City. And Aspen's dummy bread. But I want to build a tiny home and then possibly live out there for a little bit and then put it on Airbnb and put an Airbnb, travel and have it as a travel house and then build probably another and then build another home or get another property or do something with property and real estate. And that's kind of that's kind of like my dream with the real estate.
That's good.
And some because like the tiny home is something that I like. I think build and also like there is like if you gather wood, like if you gather wood for a long time, you can like help supply wood and help do some stuff. Like you can save like a lot of money.
With a tiny home.
Yes.
So how are you gonna do that? Like chopping trees down?
No, as in like people use like scrap wood. People like from construction sites that are about to kind of throw away, or I can buy them for a really cheap price. Just hold on to them, make sure they don't.
Lumber is expensive right now.
Lumber's dumb expensive. Lumber's expensive in general.
Yeah.
So hold on to some of that stuff. I've been looking into a lot of different things.
Do you have any wood already?
No. I got to talk to my parents, make sure I can gather some and stuff. And I got to talk to Tom and stuff. Talk about contracting.
What kind of wood are you looking for? Like big wood, like big pieces of wood.
More like 2x4s and stuff that'll
like long ones, though, right?
Structurally build a house. And then like wood that even looks like this, like old barn wood. I could talk to Tom to try to have him find me old barn wood, because actually people sell it really expensive. It's dumb hard to find.
What this is?
This is wallpaper, brother.
I know. I know.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying, is it old barnwood? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, probably.
Nice texture.
Yeah. It looks nice, but it's probably supposed to be like an old, like kind of like like a barnwood type of thing. But like is there some barnwood that's been aging for like 100, 150, 300 years, and that shit goes for
that wood in Vermont was looking pretty.
People will put that in their house or on the outside of their house and use it as full on decoration and stuff.
The crib in Vermont was pretty legit. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, straight up like straight logs holding the house. That was crazy, bro. Really crazy.
That was really cool.
But cool experience.
Nice vibe. I'm excited to go back.
Yeah, bro.
Very excited.
Mount Snow.
Very excited.
Good conditions, bro. Snowed 2.5 inches up there today, maybe 3.
And he was getting mad with me because I told him I wasn't going to snowboard the second time we go back.
Nah, just ski.
I'm going to ski, yeah.
Not going to be able to snowboard.
Ski, go rip some blues this time, hopefully.
Yeah, good conditions, bro. Hit some tree lines, though. We got to be careful in the trees. You can't be slapping any trees.
What do you mean hitting the tree lines? Like
going
skiing through the trees?
Going out off the trail and going into the trees and stuff. The more powder you have, the slower you go in the tree lines, and you can kind of like stop and kind of like, it's a little bit easier. If you fly down, like, it's sketchy.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
You have more control. You'll be able to see. There's certain lines where it's good. I'm telling you, when there's a lot of power.
I'm still a little shaken up by Lodge.
Yeah.
Lodge was a big one for me.
Yeah, Lodge is crazy.
That
shit is fun.
That shit was steep, where you literally get to the summit and you look to your left and it's just
too. You're coming to Stowe.
Yeah, that's my goal.
I gotta get So all right, I might as well ask you if you. I don't know if you know. You might not know, but it's all good. Should credit wise, would it be smart to? I don't have a credit card. Would it be smart to open a credit card and put it on my credit card to try to build credit or points? Or
if you want to build your credit, I would try to play it as perfect as you could. I would stay below 30% on your usage. Make extra payments, pay on time.
I'm always gonna pay on time, but
about how much money? It's not a good idea to charge a lot of money to a credit card, especially your first credit card.
Well, the thing is, it's not Airbnb's for this first trip. It's not gonna be OD expensive.
But I'm saying all right. So if your credit limit is $1,000, then you wouldn't want to spend more than $300 on it.
Okay.
And then you'd want to pay that off quickly.
All right. So these are probably with more advanced credit cards.
Though I'm not a credit expert.
Yeah. But the one thing that I probably should do is eventually get a certain credit card. I want to get the credit card where
traveling.
I want to get there's multiple. I can get the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and usually if you spend like $3,000 within the first 2-3 weeks or 3 months, then you get a certain amount of. You can probably fly somewhere for free or some bullshit like that. So that's if you're going to spend the $3,000 already and then gather it from other people.
Yeah, but the credit rating agencies don't give a fuck about those deals.
Yes.
They're just looking at how much you're spending in comparison to your credit limit.
Yes, exactly.
So that's what you got to be careful of if you care about your credit score.
Yeah, I think I'm about to
if you're just trying to get the deals.
I'm about to get the Discover Plus or something. It's a good first time credit card.
I don't think it'll damage your credit score too much. I think a lot of consistent high usage over time is what starts to damage your credit. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in this field by any means.
All right. So
get the checklist out. What's going on?
Yeah. So then where did society start only really caring about money and finance and again a job and
society the majority of society would care? Because I think there's still people in today's society who don't give a fuck. There's people there's
you're right. No, you're right. That's a good argument.
There's people out there, who just don't care. You know what I'm saying? There's people who it doesn't affect them. Imagine being someone
moves to California to be homeless.
Yeah, some old school Italian living on a farm in the middle of a fucking vineyard in Italy. Doesn't give a shit. He's got his cows. He eats. He's self-sustains and shit. He doesn't care about the economy. He doesn't care about a job or making money.
Where did let's say this suburban and city fast, this like super civilized, right? Well, I guess you
like Western civilization.
Is that, I guess, Western civilization life really start caring only about like this monetary value, and then
That's a good question. I don't think I'm.
And then where did it go wrong? To the point, I'd like to know where it went wrong.
I think it went wrong from the second it started. I think there's just too much natural malevolence within human beings. Like I just think there's no way you'll eradicate that. Like if we lived in a world where everybody was perfectly kind and nice and wholesome.
No, not even that. Where did it go wrong in the aspect of now we're all we've become so financially tied to our jobs. Like
same reason. For the same reason, because we live in a system that like necessitates that to a certain extent.
Exactly.
And that's built by people.
Exactly.
Built by people and probably built out of greed. So that's, like I said, the same thing. The natural human malevolence.
Greed or pure like malevolent, like purposeful malevolence?
Probably at certain points in our history, yes. Like there's definitely many occurrences of that. Like generalistically, most people were just disregarding the sake of others for their own financial gain is what I would assume.
Okay,
that's what I think. I think from day one, like I think people were the second that money and value became a concept, people were thieving, people were scamming, people were. I think always. I think it's just like it's part of the natural human condition. We're just evil people. And that's why when you think back to like the atrocities carried out through our history, it's easy to think like how could they do those things? But at the same time, you have to think like, how could you do that? Because you're just as capable of doing those things as they are. Yeah. You are a human being. You're the same thing. Sure. You're just as capable of it. It's more of a question of how could we do that as species, as animals? Like how are we capable of this? Right? Like it's a scary thought.
No, but I actually want to make like a video, or I want to do something where it's like the idea of racism. Like we still are not having that conversation of racism. We keep making this slavery. Excuse me. We keep making slavery all about racism and white people against black people and black people against white people and everybody against each other over race and this, that, and the third. But it's really the fact that we can put a human being in chains.
No, it's a general
freedom.
Yeah, it's a general malevolence.
We can take away a human's freedom and just turn him into an animal and don't give a fuck about him.
Different points in history.
Say, fuck his life, fuck his dignity, fuck the race, the religion. It's like the fact that you can do that to another human is insane. Because they did do it to other races.
Yeah, at different points, different points in times and places through our history, every race and ethnicity and religion was enslaved and maltreated.
Of course,
at every point, at some point in history, for everybody, it's there. It's a general human malevolence. Like, and it's Africans selling Africans into slavery. Egyptians
there's
taking
African plantation owners in North Carolina at the time.
Radical whatever.
Egyptians were the first enslaved.
Christians in cages, shit happens.
Jews enslaved for years, forever. Yeah, but I do think I think it's kind of annoying that we don't have this argument of this natural human malevolence and human nature that we can just enslave someone, and it's like we keep turning it about like race and. It's like you owe me and I owe you, and
because it's an easy emotional scapegoat.
Yeah,
right? That takes the logic out of it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like it's easier to defer
point the finger,
than it is to actually solve the problem in any sense. Yeah, but here's the thing: stuff like that will never. Racism will never die. It's a sad thing as it may be. It will never die.
It's tribalism. It's tribalism.
That's what it is.
It's like our team versus your team.
People will continue to just naturally be born with that temperament.
100%.
And it won't ever end. So it's not. It's more of disowning it as a society rather than combating it, because it's like constantly fighting something that'll never disappear.
Yeah.
It's more of just to generally get the majority of society to wholesomely understand that is wrong.
Yeah.
And to combat it as a society. That's the whole point of free speech.
I mean,
for them to bring up those bad ideas and
for the most part we've done a pretty good job. An average person,
I think so. I think certain places
there's probably certain places down south, but and then you hear that and then you hear that, and then Lucky V drives across the country and goes down south. I didn't go in Alabama or Georgia or a place like that, but I've been in deep Tennessee and in the boons in Tennessee, and didn't see nothing crazy. Didn't see anybody beating anybody up.
You don't see much racism.
No,
here.
You see one Confederate flag, and realistically, it's probably because their family fought for the Confederates, not because they hate black people.
Well, and
they probably do have a tie. They might have a tie.
And there's a continued sort of belief that racism only lies on one end, that other races can't be racist.
Oh, absolutely not.
But I don't understand why that's a belief. Yeah, it's just so relative to an extreme extent that we're just lazily playing with the rules like that. Oh no, that's not okay. Oh, but no, you guys, it's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But no, you can't do that.
It's honestly you're degrading like the definition and the power of racism and racial prejudice.
It's divisive. Like, what are we gaining from it?
You're not.
What is anybody benefiting from it? Where's like the healing at?
There's
right?
no
Because like
healing.
that should be the goal. Everybody wants to live in utopia where they're happy and like, all right, well, let's heal. Right? Let's not just fight the whole time. Like that's not helping. You guys are taking us right back down the same path. Like you want to talk about healing? There has to be forgiveness. Right, like a lot, like my family was not in this country,
and that's a
when
big
slavery
argument.
was a thing.
And most
like,
most black people are not related to American slaves, and most white people are by far probably not related to. Most white people that I know, their families came from like Ellis Island and shit like that.
I have my grandparents' immigration papers.
Yeah, it's like
you know what I'm saying. Like
it's like, bro, we built New York, we built some skyscrapers. That's about it.
We like my people, like my ancestors were discriminated against when they came here, and they talk about just like a privilege of being white, which like at the end of the day, like I can't attest to the truth of that.
No, you can't.
Like I can't because
it's bullshit, bro. For the most part, it's bullshit.
I don't.
There's some judicial things where black people are getting arrested at a higher rate for drugs and in urban communities. I understand that, and that's true. But to say that like I'm privileging financially and beneficially off the color of my skin is kind of racist for saying that.
Yeah, well, like for me, it's like it's a hard thing to talk about. It really is. But it's for me, it's like I don't.
Not Mabel.
I grew up. We grew up in an area that's fairly in the middle of both.
I think New Jersey's pretty ethnic. Right?
No, I'm saying like
pretty good
a 5-minute walk down from where I live. Is the slums.
A few other ways.
Like you know what I'm saying, and then a 20-minute drive the other way, you're in Robbinsville.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So it's like I've seen both worlds. Like I've been in it.
And they're
like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen it both. I've a lot of people I grew up with and we've been very close friends with are live that life to that extreme, and then other people who I've grown up with and been close friends with are live in nice homes. Their parents make good money and yada yada yada. And I've seen it both. Me personally, like I didn't start working at the age of 14 because I was white. I had all these privileges that I just got whatever the fuck I wanted. My parents struggled financially.
Yeah,
so like you know, so I didn't feel any privilege. I still don't. Like I don't have anything. I don't get anything special. I worked at a pizzeria for 7 years and struggled to get by. And like now I'm trying to pave my way for my own. But like nothing's been handed to me. Like I'm saying, I don't feel privileged. But like again, I guess the argument to me would be, oh well, you don't experience the other shoes to know whether anything is different for you. But like I'm not better off financially because I'm white. I think there's people of color, a lot of people of color who are a lot better off than I am financially.
I guess the argument would be you're not treated by business owners the same way. You're not treated by employers the same way.
Me personally,
you're not treated by teachers and police officers the same way. That would be the argument.
Me personally, I think that has a lot more to do with just how you carry yourself.
Yes.
Like I think it's more like if I walk into me personally, like I try not to judge people, but I'll get the same impression.
We all judge though.
Yeah, everybody judges. I'll get the same impression from somebody, like from a white guy who walks in just looking trashy.
Yeah.
That I would from like a black person who seems hood or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a lot of respect. Like people tend to think that white people are just like, oh, he's black. Like, I'm like, no, like well, I have a lot of black friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
people
the cop out. That's the cop.
They say it's a cop out. I know. Like, genuinely, like, people I grew up with, like, spent years with, like, genuinely, like, my friends, like,
oh, he's got black friends.
People judge off how you carry yourself, I think, for the most part nowadays.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
forever.
I don't understand. Like, I don't know anybody. Like, I genuinely don't know a single person who just, and I'm not saying these people don't exist because they sure as hell do, but I genuinely don't know a single person who just looks at somebody of any sort of color and just for that pure reason just does not like them.
Bro, I know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know anybody.
I've never seen a real racist interaction.
No, I've never seen it
in my life. Like where someone's like, "Yo," like some crazy shit. We're like, "Whoa, that was fucking racist."
We're also in the Northeast. Right?
Yeah, we're very liberal in a way.
Yeah, we're also in the Northeast, so like we've always been ahead of the curve up here.
Yeah, we're like freeing these motherfuckers.
Yeah. No. Whoa, that's a weird way to say that.
Wait, take that back.
But like, you know, I don't know. It's just I feel like it's almost like an argument for the sake of arguing, right? Rather than people just focusing on bettering their lives and like you're gonna have negative interactions, like especially nowadays. Like I will be treated poorly by a person of color for being white.
I'll say this because I got the fucking balls too. I believe that specifically the Democratic Party, but a lot of people in power, celebrities, these popular social media stars, influencers, and politicians are pandering to the black community just to get their vote and just to try to get their money.
Like they're hating on,
and that to me that disgusts me. And I wish more people in the black community would stand up against that.
Well, they're hating
it
on.
Is fucked
well, because think about the inconsistency.
It is pandering to them.
The president that like the left really loves right now is an old, rich white dude who's been in politics for 37 years.
Ran on basically like kind of racist ideologies
and like,
for
this
quite
is
a while.
This is your figurehead for this movement. Like it doesn't even make sense.
They literally did a racist and sexist move to take a black woman and literally make that the name. Like, hey, we have a black woman. We're going to make her the vice president. It's like, that's racist and sexist. You're using. Why does it
matter?
Yeah, why does it matter? You're using her race and her like, gender to try to run that.
Like,
yeah.
I don't think
to judge her as a person. I'm supposed to judge her because she's a black woman. What does that even mean?
No, the identity politics of it.
You're making me be prejudiced now.
Like you're making me think about it. I'm not. Like I don't care. Like why do I have to take that into consideration? Like
let's look at her political career. And her resume,
her character. She's as a person. Like I think that's what the majority of people care about.
So let me ask you this, before we get too racial, and we all get canceled.
See, but I'm
just ripped my face off. I'm a black guy.
I'm trying to be candid, right? And I don't think I'm speaking in any way that's prejudicial or anything. But like, it's hard to have these like genuine discussions.
No, it is.
It's hard, especially like amongst us
especially in our generation too.
And it's like
we're living in this generation.
It's almost like we're not allowed to discuss. It's a societal issue. We're taking part in the society.
But I do think
something. It's like I care for the happiness of other people.
Yes, that's why I think this. That's what I'm saying.
And I think a lot of these people who are like go far off on these things like are destroying their own happiness in this sort of like virtue pursuit.
Yes, they hate you for a clip that they could listen to our 2 hours conversation, but they maybe only listen to a 10-second clip and judge us off that. Yeah. That would be unfair. So let me ask you this: biggest threat to democracy, to the U.S. democracy right now? What's your opinion?
Exactly what we're talking about. Brown shirting, just identity politics and limiting who can say what, all of that. I think that's the biggest threat.
Two different things.
What do you mean?
Limiting, so censorship.
Yeah, I'm saying all of it.
Censorship.
Yeah. So the identity politics, the censorship, well, that's all coming to me under the term brown shirting.
Brown shirting.
Yeah, like the brown shirts, like Nazi Germany.
And what did they? What
they did? What did what leftists do today? They showed up to speeches and drowned them out, scream, chant, shut the speech down. They tell people they aren't allowed to talk about things.
Fascism, isn't that fascism?
Yeah, that's fascism.
Isn't that fascism?
They silenced.
They say like freaking Trump was a fascist. Like, what? This is fascism now.
Yeah, they're condemning us for having a dissenting opinion to theirs. I don't think our opinion's dissenting.
Banning scientists. Banning the scientists who create the mRNA vaccine, banning him off Twitter, YouTube, silencing him. It's like, bro, he created the vaccine. He's giving us some of the side effects of the vaccine so we can be wary about it if we're pregnant, if we're trying to be pregnant, if we have certain health prevalence and this, that, and the third. So, I think my opinion, biggest threat to democracy, I do think this freedom of speech is probably the most important. Freedom of speech is probably the biggest threat we face. This idea of media censorship and media control and the billionaire corporations that fund politicians and fund the media are telling us how to live our life and what to think about things.
People's inability to think for themselves.
Yeah, they're telling
That's definitely destroying our democracy. That's definitely one thing. People just latch onto the ideology and they're ideologues, like pure ideologues. Like you hear these people like debate. It's not a debate. You're not having any sort of intellectual debate. You are literally just uttering the rhetoric of an ideologue. Like you're just speaking.
All right, so let me play devil's advocate.
Mind.
Let's just say this person is very woke about a certain subject and she thinks climate change, or they think climate change is the most important threat to our democracy or to our society, and their position comes from a place of we want a cleaner world and a better world, and that's possible if we stop doing this, that, and the third, and it's possible, and we're lazy and we're not doing the right things. And where do I want to go with this? And they like the average person, they have a 9-to-5 job, they have kids, they have work, they have school, whatever it may be, they're very busy. And then they go on the news, which for a while we kind of trusted and believed in a way, and they kind of fucking said some things that were kind of trustworthy and real. And they go on there and the news tells them that everything is based on racism. Everything is this, that, and the third. Joe Biden's a great president. They're just saying all this stuff, and then they come out and they start saying all this stuff. Like Joe Rogan took horse dewormer. So and so is misogynistic. So and so is a rapist. It's like they just start saying this rhetoric where it's like they didn't, and maybe they don't have the time to look it up. And it's
that's
like
what I'm talking
now you got to hold now these media companies for. Again, blatant, not even misinformation. I always articulate this. Misinformation is when you don't know what you're talking about, and I do think you have the right to kind of spurt what you say. But if you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. And that's just what it is. You have the right for freedom of speech for people to then argue what you talk about. If you have a big enough platform to make a change, people can argue that and try to sway that. But then disinformation is then going out of your way, blatantly wrong information to sway people a certain way and make them think a certain way. And I think that's the majority of what's going on.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like they're adhering to that ideology that's being put onto them.
Yes,
and then they become an ideologue.
Yes,
they're uttering the beliefs of other people that are being drilled into their head. It's not their own.
And then the biggest threat to democracy, I think, is possibly the way. I think a lot of people, even if they don't want to say that they think the election was stolen, I think the average person does not believe and trust our democratic or our U.S. voting system. I don't think the U.S. voting system has credibility anymore.
I think it's very flawed.
And I think that's going to be a real issue.
There's this guy on...
millions of people, and it could be millions of people could vote. Let's just perspective-wise, millions of people vote for Newsom and millions of people vote Newsom out, right? They both think they're right, and they both end up like, let's say Newsom wins. I don't think he can, but let's say he wins again or whatever it may be. I don't even know if he can run again, but let's say he wins, and then these people that swear that they voted him out, they go and they protest and they fight with each other because they swear that the voting system has been inaccurate and it's not true. I know millions of people that voted for him and it's not real. So it's like, and then in a way, I mean, they're not really proven to us. Like, and then,
well, I think the two-party system is just flawed. But there's this guy on YouTube. I think it's CPG Gray is his name, and he talks about. I don't know what he is. He's a professor. I have no clue what he is a professor of or anything. But he talks about like different voting systems, and he has like I remember one stood out to me as being like a really good system, I guess theoretically. But I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I think the two-party system just leaves too much room for dissent, for too much room for just disagreement and unhappiness for it to sort of be like democratic. I know we're a republic, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement with the U.S. voting system, for sure. I don't think it's an accurate system at all.
Yeah, it's interesting. But then at that point, you would have to.
Oh, it would be hard. It would be a hard transition.
It'd rewrite quite a lot of things.
Yeah, it'd be hard. There would have to be like a constitutional convention. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that'd be very interesting. That'd be very difficult to probably go through something like that. And again, in a way, that's almost like not realistic in the world.
Dude, I feel like we're gonna 50 years from now. For 50 years from now, we're gonna look back at what the world was today and like what it is then, and I think we're gonna see there's gonna be so much change. Like even just hearing you talk about like that actually being proposed, like the world economy thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine if like we can talk to our kids and be like, yeah, one time when you weren't alive and I was 25 years old, the world transitioned to a world economy, and it's like crazy.
You're in the world economy.
Yeah. In the metaverse. Oh, in the metaverse. So talk to Marky Mark.
Yeah.
With his baby race.
Yeah.
Baby race.
Work out with Marky Marcus 5 a.m.
Sure. I want to work. Jeff Bezos did a whole like transformation. He's like all swole now. He's like getting all the bitches. He's getting these bitches and shit. You see him on the yacht since he left his wife. He's being a baller.
And his wife, that bad bitch, went up to Leonardo DiCaprio and wanted to suck off Leo. And then Jeff Bezos.
What is this? Oh, I did hear about this.
Jeff Bezos posted about it on Twitter. He was like, "Yeah, what's up, Leo?" And he posted like a picture of like dangerous swimming or some shit like that. It was like some funny ass shit. But yeah. He's all swole.
What is Jeff Bezos trying to be now? He's trying to get into the pop culture. He's like calling out Leo on Twitter.
I think didn't he step down as CEO of Amazon? I think he wanted to step down.
But he's still the largest shareholder.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's just like retired now, I guess.
And shit. Yeah, of course. But he technically stepped down. I think Elon Musk is going to try to figure out some shit. Maybe take us to another planet.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's his goal. So we'll see if he does that.
Elon's crazy.
Yeah, I think we basically got everything. Any questions?
What are we at? 2 hours now?
We're at 2 hours. Any questions you had for Lucal? You said you had some questions for me. Maybe
No, I think we
all of them.
I think we talked a lot about stuff I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'm telling you got to learn about the science of COVID, the science of
you know what the funny
vaccines.
thing was? I fucking fell asleep.
Into some of this.
The other night I fell asleep with the TV on.
Because like if you don't understand like actual like real, and I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but if you don't go into the nitty gritty of the science and what it does to the cells in the body and how your body reacts and all these different things, like then you're not going to even begin to understand the beginning arguments of even what COVID is. You can't understand the disease if you can't understand a little bit of the science.
I fell asleep.
You don't have to be a genius to read science and understand.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I finished a Netflix show and then I fell asleep. And like I fell asleep with the TV on, the remote was like on my bed, so like I guess whatever changed while I was sleeping on it or whatever. I woke up to literally the news on MSNBC, right? And literally that's what I woke up to, a doctor talking on MSNBC about COVID, and he was like, "People are just gonna have to start to accept that this is the new flu." Blah blah blah. He's like going on this.
They're changing their narrative already because people are done with it. Like people are right now in Washington D.C. are protesting vaccine mandates. Well, Joe Biden's employer worker vaccine mandate fell through his Supreme Court. That got denied. But then the healthcare, I don't know if it got denied. I don't know if it got approved. It might have gotten approved, but the Supreme Court might have gotten approved. The healthcare vaccine mandate, which is kind of crazy. And then in Canada right now, the truckers are all protesting. Jordan Peterson just reposted something, and thousands of truckers are parked up for like hundreds of miles, basically, and just protesting against Trudeau, who's the prime minister, who's basically vaccine mandating.
Justin Trudeau, the fruitcake, right?
The progressive man. It's for the world. He loves people. He loves it all.
Yeah, I heard he's like
for society, and that's the argument, right? It's like all these things. Is it true that all of these altruistic arguments of like to better society, to better humanity, it's always kind of used to take your freedoms and suppress you and oppress you and take your money. It's all, and then you also got to look into the history of all these pharmaceutical companies, the history of the last few pandemics and real health scares that we had and what these pharmaceutical companies did. H1N1, the flu that was released 2013 or 14 or whatever it was, that they maybe 15, 16, that they went hard to get a vaccine for. They did a lot of different things, and then you also got to hold Fauci accountable for the way he was in charge of the AIDS epidemic. There's a lot of argument. Remember, I said 500,000 people died of COVID because our government suppressed early treatment. Well, there's a huge argument that a lot of people died of AIDS and died in the AIDS epidemic from suppressing of treatment and a cocktail of treatments that were supposed to be medicines and stuff, but that never worked. But word on the street is they always knew those were never going to work. Those were never supposed to work.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost, I question every day whether I'd rather just be like, just blissfully ignorant.
Yeah, in a way.
Go live with the bears like Timothy.
But at the same time, like, bro, like, someone's got to do it. Like, someone's got to stand up. And
no. The world needs those people. It's like yin and yang. Bro. That's it.
Exactly. It needs those people. Like,
it is what it is.
OGs back in the day would fight against society, even though they were like mathematicians and knew all that stuff. But buddy, you good to go?
Yeah, we wrapping it up.
We can wrap it up, bro. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We're kind of all over the place. We got some more guests coming in on the way. Ben will probably be back on within, I'm feeling, next like 5 months.
Sure, yeah, whatever. Just let me know, bro. I'm down.
If I'm in Jersey within the next 5 months. But yeah, hopefully within the next like 3-4 months. Ben will be back on. I'm going to be going hard. A lot more guests coming, so guys, subscribe, stay tuned. The clip page link will be in the description. Ben is going to be working on some stuff, so stay tuned for Ben's stuff. Have him back on once he starts getting some stuff going. I got some authors got to come on. I got some music guys coming in tomorrow, so stay tuned. Smash the like button, subscribe, check out the clips, check out my vlogs and videos. Links all in the description. Check out my Instagram. Subscribe, comment, like. Deuces.
Peace.